There you go.
Yay.
Oh no, I forgot to cook sleep mix. I have to do that later.
All right. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 255, Why Incels Shouldn't Use Dating Apps. Now, this is not the ideal sort of topic we like to cover. We don't have, life advice for relationships and how you should live your life and how you should talk to women or men or this or that. This is usually what we don't talk about. But intrinsically enough, it is about gamers or from a gaming channel, and it's advice from a gamer to gamers. So it's like, okay, I mean, that should be fair. A guy who is of a certain group can tell another group what to do in another topic, I guess. Like, I can tell you about cooking, even though this is not a cooking channel, because I like cooking and I know a little bit about it. So great, fine, cool. But I think our responses are going to be pretty like, oh, here we go.
Speak to my soul.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys,
I have never met an incel, by the way. In all my years, I've never actually met.
I don't think you're gonna find a guy running around going, I really wish I had sex with a woman lately. It's just not something you have in conversation.
I've heard that, but I've never met one of these like proper incel. You know the stereotypical view of an incel is.
I think this is the natural state of man.
I've never really come across with them.
Like, every guy is like, why am I not having sex right now? It's like, well, there's lots of reasons, but we don't have to figure that out too. It doesn't take that
your looks,
hard.
Your style,
geographical distance,
geography. Yeah, no, all these reasons. Yeah, there's all kinds of reasons why you're not in a relationship. And frankly, this video was made last year, which should be more than enough answers to what happened and why you can't go out of your house.
Yeah. Cool. Why can't I go to the pub for a date? One.
There's a more basic problem with all this, and this is the definition of incel that keeps changing depending on who uses it. And when incels just used it for themselves, it was more. It went into this wizard direction. Like
wizard?
A wizard is a 30-plus-year-old virgin who never was kissed.
Wow.
In his life.
Okay.
Yeah. You lose your wizard powers if you get laid.
What is?
Okay.
Okay. Well,
I think it's. I've actually heard of that before. Yes.
All right.
But I think there was in analogy to Terry Pratchett's Flat Discworld, where the wizards have to be celibate in order to do magic.
Really.
I'm not sure where it comes from, but there's at least a parallel.
Okay, well,
because the wizard thing is kind of it's kind of self-ironic.
All right, well,
it's self-ironic coping, but the incel thing is if you just use it in a hard definition, is people who are so disabled they what's the other word for when you're from accident and you
impotent
words not impotence.
What are we talking about?
Disfigurement. When such things happen,
okay,
that can lead to big trouble in getting a partner.
Okay, you're right. Okay, all right.
And that is something where that term applies literally, because they probably want to get some affection too, but
if they're
involuntary forced into celibacy.
Right. Yeah. I was trying to say that there was an incident in Toronto a few years ago about a guy driving on the sidewalk in a van and hitting 12 people, and his argument or his mental state was that of an incel ideology, and that's what was popularized a few years ago, at least in Canada. I don't know if it is anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, but I think that is a twist on the whole terminology.
It confuses things.
Just like the same media twists other terms into like the toxic masculinity.
Right.
Masculinity is always toxic masculinity. Every meritocracy is white supremacy, and it's kind of like this newspeak twist.
What was it? Was it MGTOW?
How can we demonize men?
MGTOW, isn't it? MGTOW.
Yeah, well, those are voluntary.
Right.
Those are going into celibacy voluntarily because they're just fed up with the insane women they met in their lives.
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that's another thing that keeps getting banned around with incels and everything. So it's all this terminology that just keeps getting banned around by people who are just really using it as an insult to other people.
Yeah,
it's not there to describe it. It's there as an insult.
And when you take the MGTOW thing seriously, then that would just then MGTOWs MGTOWs could never be a threat to women. They would just be unavailable to women, which is what some women complain about.
Well, you mean like a lifelong bachelor?
Yeah, kind of.
Pretty much. Anyway, shall we get on with this horrible video?
Okay, so again, we're not going to give good advice, but like everything's personal in this topic. So you do, guys, whatever works for you. If you know what you like, find someone that likes the same thing, get along. That's as complex as it has to get. However you find them, whatever frequency, it's up to you, okay? Have your friends, have your lovers, have your wives, have your multiple partners. I don't care. Whatever works, that's cool. So some people like Tinder, some people don't like Tinder. I don't, yeah, whatever.
Oh, Tinder is one of the worst things ever created.
See, I like the fact that it exists just because there's worse versions of Tinder out there. And that's just the popular one.
Over here we've got there's Tinder, Plenty of Fish, which is that's a nightmare to go on. Right. Bumble, Honey. Which one else?
Honey? Isn't Honey an app for coupons on your browser?
Yes,
it's different. It's different over here. I think there's a dating site called Honey.
Oh.
There's also a dating site for one night stands, pretty much in Britain.
Okay.
I can't remember. I only know these because my friend is on all of them and is still single. But here's the thing. He's what is it? He's a mortgage advisor, 30 grand a year, 4-bedroom house, good-looking guy, goes to the gym, outgoing. You know, he's not what you call an incel. Can't get a date.
Huh.
What?
So it's one of those things. Yeah, no one will like. He just. Well, he gets like dates. He goes on for one date and then he never hears from him again. So obviously it must be something he's doing. But it's like rare and it's just really weird. But he's a really nice guy. So it's just really weird. This is why when people say the word incel, it's like, some people just have bad luck.
It's almost as if women have too high standards,
which is not necessarily a bad thing, but there has to become a point where you have to have this conversation either with yourself or with a partner saying, what do you want? Mm-hmm. What is it you're looking for?
Yeah.
And sometimes you could go with years with someone and they will never tell you. And you're like it's as simple as what do you want for dinner as opposed to what do you want in life. It's like you can't get anything. So.
It's good to have standards. You should have standards and you should learn from past experiences. But when we're at the point where female dating advisors for women give up their professions because they're so frustrated with the women they try to help find a man because their expectations, their demands are surreal.
Yeah.
Out of this world. Unachievable. And want everything and a cherry on top. And for the people that for the sex that complains about men having too high expectations of women with unrealistic beauty standards and everything, maybe look at your expectations that you have of men.
Yeah, the statistics on dating sites is 80% of women on dating sites go for 20% of the men.
Yeah, and that's what I That's the one thing I do like these apps for. That's the data they produce, the statistics they produce. That's the wonderful part. Otherwise, I couldn't care less about them.
I don't know. I personally never used any of these apps. I just have a relationship, and that's it.
I went to Tinder for 4 months. Got no response, no nothing. I went, sod it. Went out to a pub. Got a date straight away. So it's just a bit like just whatever works for you.
Well, you know what?
If
you're already out in public and talking to someone for more than 5 minutes, that's technically a date. I mean, you're already out and about. You're getting to know someone. Maybe you're having a drink. It's like you're dating. You're like, boom, you're right there.
If you're out and about talking to a woman for more than 5 minutes and she doesn't slap you once, it counts as a date.
I once made mock profiles on that, and the one where I was most honest, like about the trans thing and about interest in politics and everything, it only spat out blue-haired land whales.
Whoa.
That was not fun.
No.
And I'll spare you the further details. It's like, nope.
There are so many women out there that do not deserve to be on dating sites. The same with some men. I won't say that's not a one-way street, but
exactly.
You just read the profile and you're like, oh, okay, that is not attractive.
You read the profile.
Any level.
You read the profile and okay, it might be attractive to someone, but you read the profile. We're not looking for a lover or a partner or something like that. We're looking for a fellow activist, or a fellow fellow freedom fighter. I'm putting quotation marks. So it's not about finding love; it's just finding another soldier for the cause. And you're like,
scary
you want the right
stuff.
Things?
Yeah,
and I doubt these blue-haired people have the same kind of interest in politics that I have. Would rather end in war.
Yeah.
No, boy. All right. Anyway, we got 9 minutes and a half. This shouldn't take too long. I watched the first few minutes. I didn't really get anything out of it yet, so hopefully he'll get into details. Hopefully it's about self-improvement. That's what I'm getting. I'm guessing is what this is about.
We're going to point out, do not get distracted by his gameplay. We got to listen to his points. Do not get distracted by how he plays.
This feels like a Twitch stream, and he just cut it up, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, seriously, yeah.
Okay, so we're back with advice on how to move past your incel stage if this is where you are in your life. I was in this boat for many years. There is a way to move past this stage of your life, believe it or not. Become more comfortable, socialize.
Okay, the incel stage is essentially when you start becoming sexually active, interested, let's say, puberty and that jazz, and then you are an incel until the first time you get laid, which means essentially incel is just another word for virgin.
Yes.
Just for clarification.
If you have social anxiety, become more confident as a man, learn social skills.
Okay, so social anxiety, confidence, those are all important, but even without social skills, work on your core aspects of your life. Are you physically fit? Are you mentally healthy? Are you eating well? Are you sleeping well?
Do you have a skill? Do you have a hobby?
Do you have a job? Do you have income? Can you flash the green and show off that you're independent or whatever? That's the core. The social stuff is good, but it's not as important as the basics. So if you want to lie your way through life, great. You could do that. But if you don't...
I'd say that the social bit is more important in your late teens when you're in education, like university and stuff. That's cool, the social stuff, that's where all the women is. But when you start getting into your 20s, it's the job, the car, can you actually look after yourself? Do you know what I mean?
Can you take care of someone else's needs and desires? And how far will you go? This is what was referred to as love. So what will you sacrifice for this person? What are their desires? And usually, if you're talking to a woman, is they want to get married, and they want to have kids, and they want a house, and they want to live close to their parents, but not too far, or not too close, but close enough they can see them reasonably and live their own life and be close to their own job and all these other little things, all these details, which you have already figured out the financial solution to, okay?
Yeah.
And the logistical solution too, and where to get groceries, and where to get your car changed and fixed if something happens, and where to get a battery if it dies, and where to, I don't know, stop a water leak. All these things you're going to encounter.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep,
that's the stuff that matters that might not be brought up in the first date. So,
yeah,
eventually become talking to women and then learning the proper techniques to be able to attract, and eventually you would hope to be able to maintain a woman or multiple.
Yeah, it's simple to attract a woman. Be good looking. Anyway,
as I said before, the core: eat well, smell good, look good, work well, have a job, have your own place, have a nice car.
Smell good doesn't work by just applying deodorant.
Yeah, no, that's
that requires taking a shower or a bath before, rubbing off all the dead skin afterwards, and then not putting back on the clothes you took off before you went under the water.
Yes.
Having a decent haircut is also
and I wish this was just
we can't say about having a decent haircut.
Also wash your hair. And
yes.
And I wish I couldn't say this, but I had to explain this to people.
Clean your room, yes.
No, clean your body. We're not even at the room stage.
Clean your
There are people that are not even at the room stage.
You know when you sat on a Sunday night playing your video games, eating your cheesy Wotsits and everything like that. Best thing you do is wash that shit off in the morning on Monday. Otherwise, people don't want to talk to you.
I'm trying to remember that skit, the Don Draper skit, where it's like how to make women be it's like, do what Don does, look good, smell good, exercise good, eat good, like sleep good, all these things. Like,
here's another thing. You know if you're growing a beard, because growing a beard is the in thing now. Look after your beard. Make sure there's no food in it. You know, keep it trimmed. Actually keep it shaped. So it's not scraggly.
Maybe some women are attracted to
I've never met a businessman with a beard. I don't know why. It just never happened. They're always clean shit. Always. Like every day.
Same.
Well, see, I grow a beard every so often, but I always keep it to a nice, neat style. I mean, until just recently, because it's like... no... But I've actually shaved it off completely, because I was going to have my hair cut, but then that never happened. But yeah, keep it nice and neat. Keep it soft, because I'll tell you something now. One thing that I have learned: women who like beards like to stroke the beards.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a soft beard, they'll like it more than a rough, hard, scraggly thing. And
yeah, and just comb it once in a while. Comb it out. Because it's
not comb it out. Comb it out.
Do I have to have you read the chaos again?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Don't worry about that. But
no, but if you don't do that, stroking your beard can result in getting tangled up in it, and that is very uncomfortable. It's not fun for the girl, and it's not fun for you. Those copper wires are pulled out accidentally.
Wow. What are we talking about here? Your beard.
I don't remember the word Hawk used. That is the right word for caressing the beard. What did you say?
What do you mean caress? What, stroke? Stroking your beard.
Oh, jeez.
Or are we talking about combing, not combing?
I was suddenly reminded of the was it season 1 or season 2 of
But we were
Star
talking
Trek,
about women that like beards.
when Data grows a beard. Do I look more confident? Intelligent. When I stroke my beard as such. What are you doing? Oh boy.
But also, I'll tell you this now. Use anti-dandruff shampoo as well in your beard, because you'll be surprised that you actually get dandruff in your beard.
Oh god, I remember at university, how many men had dandruff in their hair. I was like, oh god.
Yeah. Well, that's the only reason I can tell you this advice is because I grow a beard quite a lot. I've always wanted a beard since I was little, so I learned how to get one of the best beards. It's not massive, it's not long, but it's just nice, and people like it. And it's never had a thing where people go like, "Oh, you should shave" or something like that. It's always been "Oh, that's a cool beard. That looks nice. You look really good with it." And to the point where when I do shave it off, people go, "You should grow your beard back as quickly as possible. Hide that half of your face."
Okay, let's keep going here. Thank you, Zimzilla99. The social bit may nab you dates, but if you aren't the most physically attractive, then it will depend more on money than the social aspect. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You forget that confidence goes a long way.
Yes.
You can be out of shape. You can have not the most money. If you are confident, witty, and have a sense of humor, that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Because those are all things that imply that even though you are not in a good position right now, where you make 600K a year, it implies that you can make something out of yourself.
Yeah.
And,
like
that is way more important.
My friend is really attractive for a guy, right? And he's got the muscles, the car, the big house, and all that. Can't get a date.
Is it the same guy that you mentioned before?
Yeah, same guy.
Oh, okay.
Because he goes to the gym pretty much every. I mean, his Facebook now, because the gyms are open. The gym's only been open for 2 days, and he's been 4 times already. It's like,
right. He should marry to the place, guy. Then.
He probably should. But yeah, you would have thought that women would be flocking to get onto him, but it's not the case, and I think it might possibly be due to like. He's interesting, but he can also be incredibly boring sometimes. And I think that might be his problem. While Muggins here, I've got a dad bod. I'm eating my way through a takeaway as we speak right now. But
there are girls who are into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also it's like I've got a nice little house of my own. Got things sorted with that. But I go out and I can talk about things, like different things, different interests, and it does keep the conversation going. So there is different things.
That's and I also have like a friend like just like that, and he actually can have some relationships, but he seems to like change them every 2 or 3 months. Like I like talked with him like after 6 months of not seeing him because pubs closed down, and. Next thing, he asked me, like, do you remember this girlfriend I had? Well, yeah, ever since that, like, I changed it, like, 2 times now. Like, what the fuck, man? He has been, through, like, maybe 20 relationships by now. That's crazy. Wow. He just, like, can't stay with one. I don't know how is that possible? Because, like, he is pretty fit. He's, like, a stable job as well. Like, he's very dedicated, I would say. Like he is very career oriented, I would say. I think like he even got like a lead position at like his company, and but he just like has problems with this thing. I just don't know why, because like has like a lot of hobbies, but like even like last time when I like had like a talk with him, like they just couldn't show up about their hobbies, because I feel like after a while you want to have like some deeper conversations than just like what do you like to do in your free time. Like, because like that is rather boring.
Yeah,
that is already deep.
Yeah.
What do you want to do in your free time? Is it deep conversation?
No. As in like say with my friend, I'll go to the gym. Okay, cool. But after
you go to the gym, you did this. I just watched the TV show. Like something beyond that. Like, like how do you feel, or like what do you think like things are going? Like, do you have like a perspective on like the current situation, or like what do you have in your plans?
Yeah,
it isn't just like I'm gonna take a trip to this. Like okay, but like that's just like a very side thing to do.
Yeah,
there's more to humans than that.
It's a lot of surface. I think a lot of people
surface level. Exactly. Thank you.
But
that was the word.
There's nothing deeper. Yeah, but there's nothing deeper.
Like he's like a pretty chill dude to be around. So like I'm like still good friends with him. It's just like I'm like worried about him because like this is like unhealthy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's get back to this gentleman explaining to gamers on his stream how to get sex or not get. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Bro, just get your kill streak higher and go to be like.
There you go.
And if you're so bothered with your beard that you don't want to care for it, just laser it away. It's a wonderful experience where every single hair of on your face will explode and feel like it needles into your bone. It's wonderful.
Oh
yes, I agree. I love shaving myself.
About a dozen at a time. Yeah, and you'll always look like a baby face because you'll have no beard shadow anymore. It's absolutely a blast.
Oh,
okay.
I couldn't do that. But I'm going to say wisp. The phrase "exploding like a bunch of needles into your bone" doesn't usually sound like the best experience. But you know what?
I'm just
It's a German metaphor, goddammit.
No, it literally feels like that.
This is German laser engineering, guys. It's superior technology.
German science is the best.
Superior technology. German. Yeah, I get that reference now, but I've seen German.
Yeah, so it's just that scene where Superman shaves himself with his laser eyes through the mirror.
Yeah.
He would destroy his follicles. He wouldn't have a beard ever afterwards again. At least if he's doing that regularly.
True.
Like
Unless
first he just get to patches and that would look really horrible. And so he'd have to continue to get it even again, and then he would never have a beard again. So
I never thought about that.
All right. Well, luckily we don't have to do that like Superman in reality, so that's okay.
Oh, thank God for that.
I did.
Screwed if you did.
Well, okay.
I was tired of pulling the hairs out with pincers one by one.
Hey, you know what? That's a great idea.
Hell, man?
Not the pincers.
You know, that's the thing. People with gender dysphoria are serious about this shit. Okay?
Oh, yeah, no, I understand. That's cool.
Not like
of course,
and that is why I call all these people with a full beard who put on a skirt and then go on, I'm trans, call me Zuchel.
Yeah, no.
That's why I call that bullshit. Holy fuck.
I call that there's not enough alcohol in this bar for me to ever refer to you as
I think those people have too much alcohol and some other things.
All right.
Anyway, let's move on. Yeah.
Lasers are good, but gaming advice about dating is great.
Is there a long ahead of daily self-improvement steps that need to be taken to make it through each of these stages? And while most people look for an easy fix to rather dramatic issues, there is no easy fix. To improve all these issues and move on to a stage in your life where you are no longer an incel, we're not just talking about tweaking a few things or hearing a few crucial pieces of advice. We're talking about a complete overhaul change of your life. And so understand, part of what I'm here to do is offer advice in respect to the self-improvement measures that need to be taken to move past your incel stage. But in order to get you to understand how crucial it is that you take these steps necessary, being that it is the only way to improve, I need to dismantle all the shortcuts. And being that I run a gaming channel and a lot of hardcore internet gamers are the guys that need to hear this the most, I'd say I'm talking to the perfect group because a lot of you have become masters at disconnecting from the outside world due to social anxiety and other related issues.
I have a question just as I come in here. Is he accusing most of his fans as being incels?
Pretty much, yeah.
I guess. Oh, hi, Shiny.
Hi, Shiny.
Oh, hi, Shiny.
Well, there are a lot of gamers who are rather
Message to my audience.
Speaking of incel, and I'm joking.
Hey, Shiny.
How's it going?
How do clones reproduce?
We don't. We just kind of spring out of a vat.
Spring out a hole in the ground.
Wasn't there like an episode in the Clone Wars where like dude went rogue after Geonosis and had a family?
Yes.
It wasn't his children, but they
yeah.
were human to like hybrid, and they were young enough that they were pretty much his children because they.
Oh yeah, because they look like a hybrid, yeah.
Yeah, so they're kind of step kids, but clones can canonically reproduce. In fact, I think a clone commando knocked up a Padawan
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Attachments.
I don't know how I actually feel about that.
Back to insults.
Yeah,
Back to
fully
insult. Something a lot more easier to understand.
Okay.
Anyway,
so
I did find it funny that I
all-
just come in here and this guy just accuses his audience of pretty much being incels.
So, at
Yeah,
least
because social
we
anxiety obviously means you're an incel.
established that not all clones are incels.
I'll be honest. Soy boys are kind of the same energy as incels. They both think they deserve something from women and try to aim way above their weight.
I wouldn't put incels and sneaky demanding guys into the same category.
It's the same kind of energy of demanding, kind of demanding something from a woman and thinking they deserve something from them, and it's usually sex.
Yeah.
So it's they take them out to a dinner because they take them out to a dinner and they're nice to them. It's like I deserve something from you, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and there are a lot of, I've been in MRA spaces, and there are a lot of great people there who've got screwed over and wronged by absolutely insane women. I have no doubt about that at all. And then there are a few guys in there that are essentially, as you say, the same energy as these sneaky, expecting, demanding, nice guy feminists who only complain about not getting laid anymore because their wife left them. And in those cases, and to my experience, those are the exceptions in the MRA groups, but they are there. Those cases, I completely understand why the woman left.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know what makes the difference of whether these people end up as the exceptional bad MRA or go for becoming a sneaky male feminist that then goes on the continued psychological or physiological abuse streak.
Yeah, it's a lot of grey area.
And that's
at the end of the day, it's again soy boys and incels. They just want sex and they don't get it.
Yeah, I think
that's pretty much the easiest way to simplify it down to.
Yeah, but then again with incels, it might just be the feeling of being loved by another, the relationship as well. Whereas in soy boys and those sort of male feminists, it is just the power and sex over women. So there is a slight. This is what I'm saying is a grey area, because you could easily fall into both categories. But then again, both categories are just insults to what is essentially a guy who can't get laid.
Yeah, and that's why I find the term way too broad, because the original incel is just
involuntary celibate.
It's just for example, because you're disabled or disfigured or something.
I would definitely describe incels and involuntary celibates separately, because incels are a bit more of an ideology and a kind of a way they're thinking, rather than involuntary celibate is.
But
it's like, okay, you don't get laid because of reasons.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that the shorthand means involuntary celibate, and that's why
I know the shorthand is short for involuntary celibate, because the incel is just it's taken on its own meaning to mean something.
I don't think it's taken on its own meaning. I think it was demonized.
It has, because incels now mean that when you talk about incel, you're talking about the kind of people who actually think women that owe them something and they can't get laid, so therefore they get upset about it.
I'd rather
they join these groups. I'd
rather try to clean up the terminology and find a proper term for the sneaky, demanding narcissists, because I think that is the problem. And as I've seen with these exceptional bad MRAs, they completely lacked empathy. They were only about themselves. When they were doing something nice for others, it was only for show in order to gain social clout. just like male feminists.
I would say that the involuntary celibate now has taken on different meaning. The incel has taken on different meaning, but I would still say involuntary celibate. If you're going by the definitions of the words, involuntary and celibate, that is accurate, whereas incel is accurate just based onto the
celibate.
Celibate, sorry.
You're almost saying celebrate.
You're
saying
celebrate. Celebrate.
I mean, maybe this is a very personal thing, but I want to clean up this newspeak mess because this has always been a war on words.
Terminology and
part of that.
And words are always going to be mixed up because there's going to be dictionary definitions and there are going to be social definitions where words change just because they're being used in certain environments.
No, but this was an active war onto the terminology by radical feminists because they need to demonize everything that involves men.
Well, isn't the term incel mostly taken from the group themselves, which then they've demonized themselves with their
no, the original group was just the guys who couldn't get laid.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
There was no misogyny involved yet.
Yeah, but that came later, though, didn't it?
No, that's pushed onto it, and then people who have resentment on women because they get turned down, and not because they're disabled or disfigured, but because they're absolute douchebags. If you look at the guys who committed the crimes, who committed the real atrocities, and are associated with this, they look visually, physically fine. They're not disfigured or in any way disabled. They're just absolute assholes.
If you look at the forums, again, even the original forum, which coined the term incel, it's pretty easy to find some behavior which could definitely be defined as sexist and what you would include as an incel. And these forums and groups were originally made as a support groups to help people. These support groups slowly became more and more. I suppose I don't want to keep using the word toxic because people always get on my ass for using that word. But I suppose it becoming more what you'd associate with being incel. So it's not exactly a term which has been pushed onto them. Right. It's been a term which has become new meaning because of the type of people which it is applied to has slowly changed over time. Okay, so that's why I say involuntary celibate and incel is different.
Yeah, so if I get three groups, right? Because there's three groups, right, to it. And the problem is they intertwine. So you've got the incels who are the involuntary celibate, who are what Wisp are explaining, the actual disabled, the disfigured, the people who for things way out of their control will not be getting dates and interrelationships.
And you can still be hold on. An involuntary celibate and not be a virgin, just it's because it's more about not having sex over a prolonged period of time.
Yeah. Let me just finish. Then you've got the men going their own way, right?
Mm-hmm.
The MGTOWs, which you'll see, which is literally men who've been screwed over by toxic relationships or women who they believe were toxic and everything like that, who are like, we just want nothing to do with women anymore. We just want to be on our own and do our own stuff, right? And then you've got the grey area, which is incels, and I put in quotation marks, which is what people just call them to insult them. And then you've got the male feminists, right? And this is where the problem comes, because this group of people merge so well with each other because the male feminists are easy to spot because they're left wing, they're radical. The left wing with stuff
the behavior sticks out a lot.
Yeah. So
the behavior sticks out, but
it's
the right wing version of it don't stick out. But the right wing version doesn't stick out because they're not that open with it. And so we assume it is a thing. So that's the problem. So when we see incels, we're talking about mainly left wing male feminists and their right wing counterparts. and that's why there's a confusion over whether it should be called incels or not. And that's where what Whisper's saying, it's a bastardization of the term.
Yeah, if I understand you right, that is that the support group over time attracted the absolute assholes who didn't get laid because they're assholes.
Yeah, and then just blamed everyone else for their problems.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So when we talk about incels,
I think we should find a different term for these people.
Well,
but if you start making up new terms, the problem is that no one's going to, like, if you say the word incel, people know what you're saying. You know the type of people.
I'm not talking about popular activists.
If you create new terms, then it makes it more difficult in conversation, because if you just start making up new terms,
it allows us to distinguish between things that are not the same. That is what neologisms are for.
Yeah. So what we'll do for this video, to make it simple for everyone to know who we're actually on about, we'll call the people with disfigurements, the involuntary celibates, so the full thing, and we'll talk about, the people that he's on about as incels, right? So everyone knows we're on the same page of what we're talking
that's
about.
what I've been saying from the start, that I've classified the two as different,
I know
even though that
for simplicity's sake
incels are involuntary celibates.
Yeah, but I'm just saying for simplicity, because also, so that everyone knows, what we're all on about, so we don't have to spend time going through the different things. But yeah, so what he's on about right now with incels are the so it's like the male feminists who, like what Shani says, believe they're owed something, and also the right wing version, which is they believe they're owed something from women, but we just like Trump. I'm just making a generalization here, but do you know what I mean? So it's these people he's on about.
I think we can
put a blunt.
I think we're fine. We've talked about this for long enough.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, we say the word incel, we know who you're talking about, so that's easy enough for conversation.
All right, let's go.
Nobody is 100% antisocial, right? A lot of you have friends, but these friends are relegated to the internet, to internet pen pals, basically, via social media, Skype, Discord, or YouTube, whatever your choice is. So a lot of guys, despite their inexperience with women and their social anxiety, are still trying to find themselves girlfriends and still trying to get themselves laid.
This is teenager level stuff, okay? What he's discussing.
Yes.
So fine, but
incels are more like you're talking about people in the ages of like 18 plus, not teenagers.
Yeah.
More tweens.
Problem,
20s.
Yeah, but the problem with incels is when it becomes 25 to 35, and then
when you begin to suffer from that.
Yeah.
Which is a natural thing, that when you don't get affection for a prolonged time, that puts stress on your psyche. That's a normal human thing, because we are meant to bond with people.
Yeah. But at the age of 18, it's like, oh no, I didn't get a date. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
life.
What he sounds like he's not talking about all gamers. He is talking about a subset of people who are likely introverted. He's talking about social anxiety, which are two things that come together very quickly.
So is this trying to be?
Those people drift towards hobbies like gaming.
Is he? Is this video supposed to be about helping people to stop them from becoming incels, or about telling incels they shouldn't use Tinder?
Well, hopefully there's an explanation why.
I think it'll come together. So far, he seems like a genuine guy.
The video seems to be indicating that it's, okay, look, I want to try and help people stop before they become this, and then the title saying, you people should not be using Tinder.
Well, people shouldn't be using Tinder in the first.
I'm pretty sure he'll get to the point as to why the introverted social anxiety guys shouldn't go to dating apps. I think he'll explain this point at some point.
Well, again, if he really is saying that, then maybe he should, I don't know, have a better title.
We're just 90 seconds in. But I think the title is okay. Personally, I would say, yeah.
Well, if it's just saying socially awkward people shouldn't...
What helps you get over your social anxiety is go to a bar, sit at the bar, even if just for 5 minutes, even if just for one beer or whatever drink you can stomach, and just do it and train yourself. And then next week you come back, and next week you come back, and then you do 10 minutes, 50 minutes, 30 minutes, and at some point you're there for an hour. Eventually you'll get into a conversation. It'll just take time. And I had such problems, and I trained myself that way. I had no one to tell me this. I just thought, hey, if I ever want to have a somewhat normal life, I need to get over these things. So let's see, what could I do? And since we had a very nice Irish pub with a very nice old couple that was running it, it was the perfect place. And in the beginning, I just went there during the early hours, like 4 p.m. when nobody was there, just to get used to I'm in a different place. So with the autism, I have this extra layer of unfamiliar places. I usually, it's gonna sound weird, but I tend to scout places before I go there for real. And that includes, I'm in a new city. Okay, let's just walk through the city for a week so that I know where things are. I'm forcing myself to do these things so that I get acquainted with places, so that they're not just always overwhelming me and making me get lost or feel lost or overwhelmed in other ways. And so I had to do this even on an even more foundational level, to acquaint myself to places with people, because people talk, and that is a lot of noise. And my stupid brain that can't filter sound properly is then overwhelmed pretty quickly. And that's how I trained myself to bear with higher stress levels. So my better acquaintance with people, talking with people, is for me rooted in training my stress levels. The interaction part, I guess, came as a bonus, very, very welcome bonus. But the same thing is true for people who just have social anxiety. That's something you train. It's like most phobias are things you can, and I mean real phobias, like irrational fear of heights and spiders, that you can and elevators. You can slowly train them off. There will always be somewhat there, but you learn to balance them out and overcome them. And this is something Jordan Peterson also talked about. And I think he also brought the pub example at some point. I'm not sure. But that is something that works. And so you have to work on, if you have anxiety, social anxiety, if you know that, the demon has a name and you can work on it. You can fight it. You can start get some skill points together, level up, for fuck's sake. You can do that. You're not stuck with it. Just because this is what SJWs do. They get a diagnosis, get a label, and then they say, I am now my insufficiency. I will never overcome it. This is my identity. My identity is social anxiety. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? If you can level up in a game, you can level up out in real life, for fuck's sake.
Is this a TED Talk?
Yes.
Pretty much, yes.
No, that's just whispers.
So is he like the video itself? Again, because the video is talking specifically about incels. So is he then just referring to people who are socially awkward, and then that's the confusing part. And I guess we'll have to see what it's about, because at the moment he's just starting to talk about socially awkward people, but socially awkward people are not incels; they're separate things. No, you can be socially awkward and not be an incel.
Yeah, yes, that is true. These are all contributing factors. What leads you to the state of
I would say
involuntary celibate is not what leads you to becoming a wizard. Let's say it that way. What leads you to becoming a wizard is a that's a
am I going to go down
that's a multi-factor problem. Yes, that's a multi-factor problem. All right, you can.
I agree. It's multiple factors, but I don't think being socially awkward by itself.
Okay,
like plenty of people.
Is a man who has not even been kissed until 30. That's a wizard. I think a grand wizard is 50. Don't name me on that.
How long have they gone to Hogwarts for?
I don't think you need to. I think this is an Ankh-Morpork thing.
I'm joking because I've never heard anyone call the virgin a wizard or whatever.
Oh, the feminists were
trying to think. Anyway, I know plenty of people who are socially awkward. I would probably include myself in one of them, who are definitely not incels. I would say that while it can be a contributing factor, it's definitely not the same thing. And I would say that a vast majority of people who are socially awkward are just not incels.
No, they're just really shit with women.
I don't think that's said, and
but not shit with everybody.
Well, no, because that's what the video is. That's what I was trying to say, and the video itself is already talking about socially awkward people. I was like, that's not the same thing.
Well,
I guess I just have to hope that he clarifies. In the video.
Yeah, but I believe he's mainly talking to introverted teenagers. And who also falsely use these terms to describe themselves, probably, or are labeled that way, and these are all contributing factors that will be true for large parts of the group he is addressing. A lot of them will just be not getting relationships because they are absolutely terrified of talking with the other sex. And they never learn to overcome that, maybe because of a father figure that is absent, or of a useless father as well. That can also be the case. Like someone, if you never get advice from anyone about this, and as I've told in previous streams, the feminist leaning teachers, and in my schools they were all women. Almost all teachers were women. There was no one to give you any proper advice on how to talk with the other sex. To the contrary, you were told, and I was told by school and by media, by some very left-leaning Saturday morning cartoons, that lots of interactions that are completely natural and with between the sexes are now somehow bad. Like being courteous in any way, looking at women being bad, being the first one to talk, to approach, when the guy approaches the girl, that's a bad thing. And when you get all of and that was my generation. It was in the 90s and early 2000s. Now we are in 2021. This video's from last year. These are kids who've gone through that even later, where the ideology got even stronger. So I would bet that a lot of these boys that are now having trouble have been taught from day one that talking to the other sex is a bad thing. And that, of course, leads to confusion. So how do you even do this? How do you get a relationship if you're told not to talk to the other sex?
A lot of people think a relationship is going to fall in their lap, just out of thin air. And I think that's the same for both men and women, which is a big problem. But I'm different with this. I not to toot my own horn, but I do have a lot of success with women, and I find it very weird and strange. Not weird.
Well, I was
strange.
Not to poke too much, but the last one, as far as you've told me, maybe not a success.
Oh yeah, that's not a success. No, not at all. That was a disaster.
So yeah, to say that you've had a great success.
Oh no, but what I'm saying is, even after that, I'm still able to talk to women and still have success with women. It's not turned me off women completely. It's made me a bit more cautious.
The way I do it,
jump into a relationship.
You might want to call it just waiting for it to drop in my lap, but I honestly just don't. If it happens to come across a beautiful woman, sure, yeah. I'll give it a go. But it's not really in my focus right now to be in a relationship. I'd like to be in one, but I just don't really care too much right now.
Yeah, and that's the best way to.
I've also found that
because you go search and you never find.
A lot of desperate people are going to end up being desperate and just clinging on to the first woman they find, and then that's just going to push women away. So you just have to. I'm just waiting for something. I'll know when I see it, I guess.
Yeah, but when I mean like me being successful, as in like it was like I can go to a bar and I can talk to a girl, and there's no social awkwardness, there's no anxiety, there's nothing. I can start conversations just in the street, just randomly, with people, and it doesn't come across as creepy. Because like
no, it would just be weird because who the hell talks to people on the street?
Well, in a
beggars
town, in a northern town when you're waiting for a bus, or if you're just in it, right? Obviously now there's tons of queues popping up all over the place. So
that's not my experience in north of England. Everyone just leaves each other alone. It's like I guess if you ask for the time, they give you weird eyes.
Not in my town.
Like, what the fuck? You asking me for the time? What, do you want my money? Wait, you're asking me for something. Stay away.
This is weird.
Actually, funny joke. No, funny story. Actually, again, I knew an American who came over here and stayed in England. The first thing she did was just started saying hello to people on the street, and everyone just kept giving her like weird looks. Like, why are you trying to talk to me? Why are you saying hello? I don't know you. What are you doing?
And
then she just turned to me and then said, "Why is everyone so like mean here?" It's like, I'm not being mean. They just why are you just talking to people? People just going about their day. Like, not everyone wants to be stopped
really
in the middle of the street and said hello.
You'd have a similar experience in Hamburg.
Personality. I must have such a wonderful personality that I make people want to talk to me. Because I literally cannot go a day without speaking to someone new in town.
But you're like a video game protagonist. Of course, everyone wants to be with you.
Yeah,
I've
got to start another quest every.
There's a great piece of advice, guys. When you play your RPG, talk to everyone, just like in life.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is you've got to model your conversations. You have to model your conversations based on Commander Shepard.
I should know.
That way, you'll be able to talk to everyone, just like Commander Shepard does.
Yeah, and you can always choose between the Paragon and the Renegade answer.
In the middle of a conversation,
Dragon Age 2, and I get the purple. I always choose purple.
In the middle of a conversation, you just start going, "I'll cut your balls off and sell them to a Krogan."
I always maximize my persuade.
Always hit the. What are they called again? I'm trying to remember. Interrupts. Always hit the interrupts. Any color. Always hit them. Doesn't matter.
Always interrupt.
Yeah, always shove someone out a window from a 30.
Thank you for reminding me of that scene in Crocodile Dundee where he gets to New York the first time and he takes his hat off and greets every New Yorker on the main street.
Yes.
Just go to some random person and say, "What do you know about the Reapers?"
But Dundee does help out someone who wants to commit suicide. Like, come on.
And you have to end every conversation with, "I should go."
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so obviously my experience is I must have a face where everyone just wants to talk to me, and they must think I'm nice enough to talk to, because I'll be in the supermarket queue, and I'll just start talking to somebody, and we'll just be talking.
It could just be my town, to be honest. I don't know.
And yeah, so it's one of those things where I'm the exact opposite. What I'm trying to say is, I've never had this. When I was 16, yeah, sure, I was really shy and like insular. But then I just, once I left education and I was my own person and I wasn't trying to fit in with like friends groups, I became a lot more confident and a lot more outgoing and stuff. So, but that's just me. So it's not much help to anybody, really. Oh, and I also used to do a bit of acting, which also helped with the shyness and the stuff. So you can't really be shy on the stage. So.
Okay, let's keep going, please.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, sure.
but they're doing it on the internet, and they're meeting people through the internet, which seems like a safe place for you if this is.
I really want to comment on like the video format, but I don't want to have another.
Yeah, it's cut off from a stream. I think it's cut off from a Twitch
to
stream.
Improve your social skills, and on top of it, it's going to hurt your self-esteem even worse if you already have bad self-esteem.
Well, no, because the chat's behind him.
Bumble and it's a man's game. It's look-based, and everything isn't look-based with women in real life. You could be a 5 in a woman's eyes and talk your way up to being a 7 or an 8 in her eyes with your personality. If you gain her interest, sustain her interest. If you're fun, interesting to be around, and then it isn't 100% about looks. But when you're swiping through profile pictures, you're people shopping for the best looking thing you can find. And you may very well swipe through 600 women without getting a single match. And then your already low self-esteem having ass is sitting there thinking 600 women just passed up on me. Not 1 out of 600 women is attracted to me. When maybe some of those girls very well were relatively attracted to you, but they're people shopping. And the amount of options nearly any woman has, both in real life and through apps, especially through apps and the internet, is ridiculous. They have 500, 600, 700, 1,000 men to pick between themselves. They're looking for the best-looking cat. Do not be unrealistic about the kind of options nearly any relatively decent-looking girl has. I mean, men are dogs, dude. You gotta understand that both between getting hit up on the street, at school, at work, and having social media, any halfway decent-looking woman, I honestly want to say, has at least 50 options at a time, if not hundreds. So basically imagine it from a woman's perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if you had 50 women to choose from at all times. Who would be your number one pick? Which?
And I can holy shit. In our party there was this one girl. She was the daughter of someone who worked for us. I think paralyzed from the waist down, and a tube in her head because she had too much water in her skull or something. So that had to be drained constantly, and so she was in a wheelchair. And one evening I was asked to escort her home, which was just I don't know, 200 meters down the road from the restaurant we met up weekly. And she was I think 16 at the time or something like that. And this girl, who I was told she was exceptionally intelligent. I didn't get that from her. So she was very disabled. She wasn't a looker. She was overweight. She was in a wheelchair, so I don't know how difficult that is for people to stay in shape. It's probably more than for other people. But she had all these issues. And she had... her personality wasn't great, just like her mother's. So there wasn't much speaking for her. They're really,
yeah. Wait, you're really
a 2 and a little crazy.
Good God.
So it's really like a 2 and but high on the crazy level. And she complained to me that she now had to choose between her 2 boyfriends.
Whoa! Hold on. Wait. Hold on. This story's taking a sharp turn. Hold on. Wait. 2 boyfriends?
Yes.
Someone who's... Wow. Okay. I'm throwing my fucking cards in if that's the situation. Yeah. Fuck me. Yeah. Give up, guys. Don't worry about it.
Yes. So really, you can't. Every girl that there is such a thing that there is such a thing as femcells is an absolute wonder to me. Like, it makes no sense. And these girls, and at the time, I never found the time and energy at that time to get out, and I didn't have the confidence yet to ask out any girl. And so that is one of these moments that made me think, wait. This girl, right next to me, in a wheelchair, overweight, not too smart, horrible personality, half disabled, so she can't even feel anything down there, is partly incontinent because of that, and has a tube in her head, is complaining to me that she can't decide between her 2 boyfriends. And then I thought, what the fuck is my problem?
Yeah, I just wow. But again, that's the same thing where it's a bit like when I said earlier about
perspective.
the 20% of women go 80% of women go for 20% of men, and the 80% of men that are left go for the 20% of women. Where to the point where a lot of men will just go for anything just to have something, and that's a hard.
That's luxury problem.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course she went.
That's a first world problem.
Yeah, and of course that girl went into this whole LGBT nonsense with feminism and all of that. Yeah. Of course, because men are so bad and oppressive, and she's so oppressed, and fuck you.
God,
you are at the bottom rung of the pole, and you get to choose between an amount of men that is greater than one.
Yeah.
So, you're not oppressed. People hold you in so high regard, they carry you on their hands.
Well, pretty literally, because she's not going to.
In that case, probably.
But I just wow. Wisp, we've got away with like absolutely destroying men's souls. You do know that just with that one.
No, it's just if those girls get can get laid, then you can too. Seriously.
Oh yeah.
And the point, and that doesn't mean that you need to go for that type of girl. No, doesn't mean that.
Don't go for that type of girl.
I mean, and I love at this point. I've been crushing people's what is it? Lack of self-esteem.
Hopes, dreams.
With the no, I crushed that with the Stephen Hawking.
Crushing their skulls.
The red skulls? No, but think of Stephen Hawking. Every time someone complains to me, "Oh, I never get a girl. Oh, I'm so bad. Oh, I can't do anything." No, dude, think of Stephen Hawking.
He married before he went down. He did get married before he became pretty much a robot in a wheelchair. He did jump in there quite early.
Yeah, but he was married twice.
Yeah, he got married to someone else after he got in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He had an affair. Stephen Hawking had an affair.
Yeah. Yes. In the wheelchair, he had an affair.
How did he keep that quiet? Wasn't like the reversing sounds in his wheelchair?
Well, he can't really say much, so I assume it's pretty easy for him to keep it quiet.
So in that case, and that's why I bring up Stephen Hawking, because he would in any other situation. So of course, in any other situation, he would be dead at 20. But in any other situation, he would fit the definition of involuntary celibate. That's why he would have ended up as. He didn't, because he was so successful, because he was so dedicated to physics. That kept him alive, and that also made him successful.
He was definitely wanting one with physics, wasn't he? If he's getting physical with those women, with the ladies.
Yeah, look, if Stephen Hawking can get physical with his women, then what the fuck is your problem? Excel at something.
Yeah.
When you have
that compensate. Whatever problems you have with your looks or your social problems, your interaction problems, you can compensate for that with excellence in something.
Let's not try and compare ourselves to someone who used to sit in the same chair as Isaac Newton just because he can't move his body. I mean,
Stephen Hawking.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I just.
No, but
I get where Whisper's coming from.
It's inspiring.
It is one of those things you like.
It doesn't work for everyone, but it's an inspiring example to think of. Stephen Hawking got married twice. He cheated on his wife. Think about it.
Cheat on your wife, guys.
What's your problem?
All right.
That's one thing I'm going to say.
Yeah,
it's a bad thing to do.
All right. Okay, great. Alex Halo, thank you. Becoming a wizard at 30 is an old weeb joke, Shiny. Is it? Mm-hmm. Wisp, is that an old weeb joke?
Yes.
Okay.
I think in part I don't know the real source anymore. I just see parallels with this world.
Yeah. Right, well, it started off with Discworld, but then it got taken into the weeb culture. I've heard it before. My friend, who I helped get his first girlfriend, lost his virginity at 26 with her, and he was fretting about becoming a wizard when he reached 30.
Okay.
But luckily, I took him out to get some drinks, and I invited the girl that he had a crush on since he was like 12 years old.
Oh.
And I got them together, and they're still together now. And it's been 4 years now. So.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Cool.
You're a regular Cupid.
Well, yeah.
Ahoy, Captain.
I like to drink, and then the excuse to go out drinking. Sure, I'll help you with your relationship. Whatever. Let's go to that bar.
You're a good friend. You're a good friend.
Here, get drunk together. Don't worry. Go dance.
Talk amongst yourselves, please.
Yes, and I'm there just ordering more and more drinks.
She's not drunk enough. You're not drunk enough. Come on, hurry it up.
Come on. Chop, chop. Come on, guys.
All right. Here's Tyler Preston.
I'm ordering that taxi at 11 a.m.
Were those boyfriends all that on that girl's head? Probably not. No.
No. I knew one of them. He had another. He also had a disability, but not the same. Not the same as she had.
There is something.
If you have any more details, people know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, there is someone for everyone out there.
Paralyzed from the waist up, while she was paralyzed from the waist down. So,
oh dear.
No. That's not how that works, Mark.
Do you think they could put their bodies together and they'd have a full functioning body?
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh god, no. Go away.
Tie each other together.
Now they're gonna have a debate of who's gonna be bottom.
Oh boy.
Yeah, who's the bottom and who's the top?
Anyway, this guy is saying some good stuff, so he's actually making some points, which I appreciate. So anyway, let's go.
Which girl would you take? Probably nearly all of them, but who would be your first pick? The absolute hottest looking woman of the group. And there could be many hot looking women in the line, but since you have your choice of all 50, you're going with the absolute hottest. So even if you are a good looking guy, the experience from both sides of a dating app are not mutual. For guys, it's literally a contest. You are throwing your name in a hat, like signing up for a prize giveaway and hoping you get picked. And sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but most of the time you won't. And as incels, when we're in this stage of our life, we have the worst self-defeating mentality. We don't take any of these factors into account, and we become even more self-defeating. See, I knew I was ugly. Nearly 1,000 women swiped left on me. Not one of 1,000 women.
That's a very weird
I set
argument.
my range on 300 miles and swiped on every single girl on the fucking app, and nobody wants me. See, I knew I was a fucking bum. Forgetting you didn't approach any of these women. You're on a shit app. A glimpse of who you are or why you might be fun to date or worth their time. You entered a contest. You threw a profile and a list of profiles for a woman to sit back and try to make out, all right, who's the handsomest? Who looks the most interesting?
Yeah.
Who looks like they have the most interesting life?
That's what the women use on there anyway.
So you see my point? You've done nothing to improve your social skills because you didn't actually socialize with anyone. You did nothing to improve your self-esteem because you didn't actually put effort into anything, which is how you develop healthy self-esteem.
Yeah, but he's not describing how you actually become attractive on those apps. And it's a matter of grammar and photography and looking good and there's all kinds of factors here.
Yeah, but I generally agree with him.
White photos.
I generally agree with him that these dating apps are not the right place for if you already have social anxiety and self-esteem issues to find relationships.
Well,
and
it depends.
They are due to how they work and due to how the sexes interact with each other. That it will just cause you more harm.
We're talking about the nature of the app and the nature of the profile because there's lots of women who just want a long-term relationship and they go on Tinder and they're not going to get one. It's just not going to work out that way. The other sites where you specify what you want, then you...
Sorry, you go on.
That's already a misuse of Tinder.
Lasting relationship. Oh my God, but no.
That's what I'm saying. It depending on what the purpose of the app is. That's why. What's that one... Where women are the one who initiate everything. I can't remember what it's called.
Bumble
Plus?
I don't know. Whichever. It's one of those.
Oh, I've also remembered. I've also remembered the one night stand one. It's called Hinge in the UK. Hinge is literally the one night stand.
Really?
Is it Bumble? I'm very sorry. Is it Bumble? I remember it's something yellow.
Bumble. Yeah, it's Bumble.
Okay, cool. Whatever it is, like I don't know, but that gives the right for the woman not to feel like pressured or anything. She has her pick. Yeah, that's how women behave on dating apps. They are free to choose. Yeah. They should have the authority to make the first hello, which is interesting because in the natural world, it's always the males. It's always males approaching females. So that gives a genuine response.
If you look, if you're just blindly going for asking them out, yeah, sure. As I've said before, there is if you care to read the micro expressions of people, you notice the slight smile that you get from some of the girls in the room, and those are the invitations to talk to me. Those are already your flags of these are the girls you can have a positive interaction with. You won't get that in an app. So they already have these girls already have chosen that you can have a chance. Doesn't mean it comes out with a positive result in the end. These are girls who already checked you out, and due to your looks or your confidence, whatever you emanate, you ooze out into the atmosphere, they like.
Yeah.
Women do.
For a second, you turn into Arnie when you said "oozed out."
Oozing out. Uzi 9mm.
I am not from the Steiermark.
All right,
There's Wiswin trying to get a date. Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
But
I'll be back.
So again, it all depends on what you're looking for, where to get it, and how to present yourself. It's the same thing in real life. You know, you can go to dozens of bars if you don't know where you're going to find. So, what kind of person?
If you're just on a night out and you're looking for a one night stand, you're not looking for the one. So your standard should be a bit lower.
Right.
But if you're looking for a relationship, don't go around the dingy bars and stuff. You know, go somewhere nice. Go somewhere where you think, well, this is where I'd like to take.
I think the biggest problem with people, I guess it's gonna be more men, but I don't know about women, is that most people, and when they are trying to look for a relationship, they think they become too reliant on the person. Like, they think they need a relationship to be happy. You should be happy before you're in a relationship, because otherwise you become far too emotionally reliant on the other person, even if they are making you happy. And I've seen this happen a few times, where some people were absolutely abysmal, and then they got in a relationship and they were happy, but they were far too emotionally reliant. And that after the relationship fell apart, my biggest advice to my friend was, you really need to, be happy with yourself before you start looking to go into another relationship. He then tried a different girl a few weeks later, and that fell apart again. He didn't exactly listen, but my thesis still is that you should be happy before you start relying on a relationship to be happy.
Yeah, that inner balance, inner peace is also what is picked up by the other sex, and that the same is true for women who have
women want people who are women. I suppose people in general want a partner who's going to be competent, and they're not going to be reliant on them, who's got everything together. They're not going to want someone who's a complete mess.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just saying that works both ways, because the men who've gathered enough experience will also distinguish out the girls. They can already see this girl has personality issues, this girl is troubled, and this girl will probably just put all her problems onto me. So even though they may be hot, they're too high on the crazy bar.
I can say that, honestly, someone who dated a woman who had a lot of issues, it's not fun. It was very difficult.
Yeah,
it's not fun. And
that it shouldn't be.
Again, these are quite serious, relating to a dead parent who they lost when they were teenagers, when they're 18. So it's still quite fresh. Yeah. It was very difficult.
All right. Okay, guys, let's keep going.
Yeah. Just wanted to add that he is. I don't have trouble with him not explaining how to make a successful profile on dating apps, because his point is don't use them in the first place. So he has no need to talk about how to make a good profile on them.
Yeah.
His issue with them is a completely different one.
Yeah, the previous argument was you're going to feel bad because you just had 1,000 non-swipe rights or whatever. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, but as a guy, you'll get those anyway. And if you already are down in the dumps, it's a bad idea to go into this software to get more rejection without
That's life. That's business. That's dating. That's everything.
That's life.
You're gonna have to feel something.
His point is that this is not helping you build any social interaction skills. This doesn't help you overcome your anxiety. That's what you get out in real life. So don't waste your time with these apps.
But
I would even say that I agree that you shouldn't waste
one at a time.
One at a time, because it's really all coming through at the exact same time. Smud started.
Okay.
What were you actually going to say then?
Go ahead,
And then we'll go. Whisper.
No, I'm done.
You're done? It doesn't matter whether you have to wait for someone to swipe or you go out and get it. You're still going to interact with people. And all you're saying is in what format. And the format has to match the intent and the style. So if you want, a real relationship, then you're going to present yourself you're going to be serious. You're going to be mature. You're going to list your likes and dislikes or whatever and say, this is what I'm looking for. Women need to know that. Everyone needs to know that. The first date should answer all these questions regardless, if you're serious. If it's just for fun and flirty stuff, there's all kinds of crazy things you could do on all kinds of apps to present yourself as such. There's all kinds of women showing off their bodies, and all they want to do is get you onto their Instagram so they can sell you shit for whatever they're advertising for. That happens all the time. They just make a profile. Oh, I don't really talk on this app, but if you go to my Instagram, blah, 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 stuff like that. So these are sales techniques that women use their sexuality for. And you can easily pick up on that going to a bar as well. Obviously, they're not going to try to hit you up to sell you mascara or whatever, but they're going to treat it as a business transaction.
Yeah, none of that is training your social skills.
Sure it is.
Not with direct interaction. You don't have any direct interaction.
Whether it's on the phone or an SMS.
No, an SMS, not even less. The brain does not register. We try to compensate for that somewhat, but the brain does not register communication on, for example, Twitter or Facebook, where you just have text on a screen. Even if you have a little avatar with a picture, with a photo on it, the brain does not register that cognitively as interacting with another human being.
Okay, well...
No, it does. No.
It's still interacting with another human being.
Okay, well, when I had a person I met in person, and we communicated, and I looked at her SMSs, I'm like, oh, this is this person talking to me. Okay, so I imagined herself in my head saying these words. I go, okay, that's weird. She wouldn't really talk that way, but she's obviously just using her thumbs. And that's fine. I can understand her in that light. She is a different person, yes, in my head, because she doesn't communicate the right grammar, spelling mistakes, and et cetera, but I can understand when she laughs or when she would smile because with the happy face or whatever. So it's not impossible. It's not as immediate. It's obviously not as good an experience. But when someone says, I love you in SMS, it has the same value to me as if they said it in person. Not the same impact.
That's great. That's great for you. But this is consciously working around this your brain not automatically registering this as a human to human interaction. In a physical interaction, like sitting across a table and talking with each other.
Can I just interject?
There are so many more. There are so many more levels of communication between you that you do not even notice. Like text is about only estimated at about 7% of our communication.
Can I interject?
Everything else is nonverbal.
So
and that's missing.
I will definitely agree. It's a lot more disconnected when you're having a DM message than like a text than actually speaking to someone or even physically. But it is still nonetheless a social interaction you can learn from and develops some kind of social skill. It may not help with things like social anxiety. It's probably easy to talk to someone over Discord or text for people who have social anxiety, but it's still a social interaction, and it's still from that you can learn how to interact with people, because you're going to get positive or negative responses based on certain actions, and then you're going to learn from those actions on what gets you a good response and how you should act in certain ways.
I think
I'd agree in that. I'd agree in that regard. And since I'm autistic, I am weighing much more heavily on these 7% of pure text communication. Like it's all about the words and what's in the sentence that's being conveyed, the pure information. Yeah, that's why autists love chat, because it's just that.
I just trying to go back to where the conversation was originally, because we've strayed quite a bit from it.
Yeah.
I would say that it's probably fine for people who because we were talking about the damaging self-esteem. I think if you're in a good place, Tinder probably isn't that bad. Again, another friend of mine managed to have find some very kind women on Tinder. He did quite well, and he had a relationship with one for over a year before things were split up because of COVID. And trying to think now, I've had a couple dates from Tinder, even though I'm not using it anymore. So again, but I do definitely agree that it can, if you're in someone who is not in a very good place, who does struggle with self-confidence, who does have all these issues, then Tinder is definitely not for you. Again, that's what he's saying. Don't use Tinder, and he is completely right about how Tinder is pretty much against you as a man, and it's very difficult. And he's explained that it can definitely hurt your self-esteem. So I would say that's, again, more linking to what I was saying before, of you definitely need to be in a good place before you start seeking out a relationship with someone else.
I would argue just do it. I mean, you're gonna get punched, you're gonna get kicked, not physically or literally, but I mean, you're gonna get broken.
You need to be in a good place before you start getting in relationships.
You need to give something that's
even if you're
worthwhile.
Even if you're successful in getting into a relationship, it's
okay. Well, I'd rather say you have something to offer, and you have something to gain, because people can see this as a transaction in a very non-emotional sense, which might be even better in some cases, because you don't know what you're getting into without a clear head. So it kind of helps when you're understanding what you're doing. And if it's purely emotional, you're in for a world of hurt later on, because if you're not lining up with your life goals, then oh boy, you're gonna waste a lot of time. So I say interact as much as possible. Try to communicate as much as possible. Hopefully, you the person you're with will like as many things as you as much as possible. That's probably the best kinds of relationship, because you always have something to do and share and talk about and do together. No matter how crazy they are. Because I've had relationships where they had all sorts of political ideologies, but that's not what a relationship is about. It's not about what I think about Plato or how to run a government. Like I don't care.
What? Not?
It has nothing to do with being with someone. So we have all kinds of differences, but if you have these things that are the same, interact in every conceivable way. And when something is missing in your life, like, why isn't that? Oh yeah, I haven't been talking to that person about the thing I love, and she has a great comeback or whatever, insight into it that I don't. That's a great thing. Anyway, I don't mind the argument that to get off these things and experience the real thing. I agree, it's a great idea, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. I agree with the sentiment of at least start, but personally and from personal experience. Because I had to deal with a lot of these issues, partially because of the autism, then other problems in my youth, lots of health issues, and the real life experience. It shapes you. It gives you let's gamify this. It gives you little bonus points, little experience points in all these different attributes of reading body language, of being more open. yourself, and being more confident over time, dealing with rejection. It all these things build up. If you just have the dating app, that's a very, very limited part of it.
Wisp, I understand that, but I don't think we all want to be like psychological profilers every time we go meet a person.
No, it's not about psychological profiling.
Well, I know, but you're saying it's like, you missed this, you missed that.
You develop this. Okay, you misunderstand me.
Okay.
What I mean is, you develop these things without noticing it. It's subconscious. It's unconscious.
Okay.
You just naturally get better at things, at interacting with people.
Sure.
Not everyone is completely self-analyzing their own thoughts all the time. That's not how normal people are.
I remember watching one of those weird dating series, I think years ago, and one of the experiments was to go to an old folks' home and just entertain people that were, in their 70s and 80s, and how you get along with them, and that's it. They have all these other like working with kids, working with toddlers, and they just interact with people. Yeah, it's a great skill.
Yeah.
And you should do that anyway. So people who don't develop social skills would have to eventually get out into the world. But if you don't want to grow and change, I can't say, hey, you should probably go out to a bar every once in a while, like once a week. It's like, I don't want to do that. It's not my thing. It's like, okay. Try Tinder.
You can find something else.
Yeah, try whatever.
If I was to like suggest, if someone who is very socially awkward doesn't have that many friends, I would say that you probably want to focus first on, like, it's kind of, because obviously there's try something smaller, which is again having friends, having a good friend group, because it was a long time personally just before I had any like a very good friend group in school. So that's the first kind of interactions you need to build upon, and at the same time is that you generally want to start progressing somewhere, whether that be in education or have some kind of career goal, to eventually have some kind of end where you are successful and you are going along that path and you are focusing on to finally get there. For me, that is my visual effects career. And then once you're starting to go along this path and everything is doing fine, you've done fantastically well at social interactions with your friends and you're starting to branch out, that's probably the best time for you to start getting into dating, because if you don't develop very good social interactions with friends, it's probably going to be a lot more difficult to start having social interactions with dates, for example.
Yeah, and the maybe more soft alternative to get started with that is, since the people he's talking to are largely gamers, logically, it's probably who's watching him. So let's assume they're in some way, shape, or form nerds. So they will have other nerd associated interests, and that can be, for example, board gaming. And here in Germany has a huge board game culture, and including with more normal.
No, that's not good enough. They don't have Dick Society.
No, I'm just saying. If you have these special nerd interest hobbies, just check around. There's this thing called the internet. Check around in your town. Are there any clubs already existing? And just drop by, and you'd be surprised how many people there are in some of these hobbies. Like in Germany, in board game clubs, you usually find a surprising amount of women who are genuinely interested in the games. The Ws don't tend to stay that much. Of course, you need to make sure that they don't take over your place and turn it into, whoa, we must do activism for redistribution of wealth. That happens, even in those places. But
I believe you, Wisp.
This is horrible. We just want to play games. But there's people there, and they're usually quite okay. And the great thing is, through board games, you get to know who people really are, how mature they really are. Are they good winners? Are they good losers? Or are they bad winners and bad losers, and sometimes both? And that can also later, if you are looking for the dating game, help you determine is is this girl one of those bad losers who will just get in my face every time? Do I have to play all the time that yeah, you're right when she's not? That's not fun. So it benefits you in all ways. You can indulge in your hobby. You get to know new people. You get to hone your people skills without even consciously thinking about it. It's great. Do it. Look out for your hobby.
Yeah, we actually have a lot of those bars in Toronto. 2 of them are called Snakes and Lattes and Snakes and Loggers, a coffee shop and a
that
bar.
sounds hipsterish.
Yeah. Nice places though. Anyway. All right.
I might go to Toronto.
What was that, Hawk?
I said I might go to Toronto then. For women, I might have to go there. Because there's nothing here in this town.
Well, if you like your D&D or Snakes and Ladders, I mean, it's all there. Lots of board games. So, anyway, let's go.
Which is required social skills, and in fact, you brought your self-esteem down a notch lower in the process. Number 2, this has done nothing to decrease your fear of talking to women. Let's say you upload the best-looking pictures of yourself you can take. You pretend like you got it going on and fake like you have experience with women, and a girl swipes right on you and starts a conversation. Now, the goal would be to go out and meet this girl. How nervous are you? Are you shaking in your boots? Probably.
I would say I was expecting something completely different from this video just because of the title.
Yeah,
I
well,
was expecting to be lecturing people to say, these people shouldn't be dating apps, they're oppressing women, they're harassing, they're this, that, and the other.
I think...
but it's actually something completely
I
different.
think what he's getting to...
Again, because it's actually becoming more serious advice, a more accurate title would probably be socially awkward people or kids or whatever shouldn't be using Tinder. That's what's probably
Right.
better.
Yeah,
But even then,
That's a better title.
even then, I would argue you're getting experience. If you manage to score a date through whatever, you then meet people, and now you're getting real experience. So I think what he's trying to say is get your shit together, clean your room, like, I don't know, some Jordan Peterson sort of idea. Focus on the basics, then go out and meet people without the apps. You don't need to use the apps.
Make
anymore.
mistakes and then learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, but then you use the apps. That would be a mistake. Then you just keep going, and you're just like, okay, then I could use the app or not use the app. I have the freedom to do so because now I have experience. So I don't know, you guys. Whatever it is, just get over your hardships. Whatever the hurdle is, work out, eat well, sleep well, whatever the basics are, and go for it. It doesn't matter if you're using the app or not. I think the app is just to make it more efficient so that you're not going to a bar and waiting and jumping bars and going, okay, no one here.
I don't know. Have you actually used these?
I've used them like years ago, but it's not a big deal. It really depends on which one you use. The one I use, which I like, I had a girlfriend like 5 years ago, was OkCupid. Now that one I like because you can write a large profile and it's detailed. So, this person...
Right, that was the one where I did these mock profiles.
Okay. That sounds weird. But
that just
I
wanted
can
to
imagine
hook me
that
up with
Smudcast
these...
wrote like, I hate Mass Effect 3. And
yeah. You know what?
Yeah, I also hate Mass Effect 3.
Most girls don't.
know.
Most girls at that time, or maybe even 10 years ago, didn't really get into video games. But nowadays, I bet there probably are a lot more that are open about it.
Well,
too many.
Well, was it
Yeah.
Monday night when the pubs first opened? I started randomly talking to this young lass who was a Twitch streamer.
Wow.
Who was streaming like that night after she finished drinking Red Dead 2.
Oh.
And I ended up at her house for drinks with her and her friends and stuff. Yeah, it was quite. Yeah, it was interesting.
That's good taste.
We just started talking about video games.
Yeah, good taste in gaming there. Yeah, fantastic.
But to be honest with you, she was pretty crap at it, and I had to jump in and help her with one bit.
The British honesty.
I like cooking. No, you don't. You don't know what you're doing. Give me that knife.
Well, when you get so far into a game and you've still got the starting equipment, and it's like, how the game gives you other stuff. How did you do this?
Oh
It's
my!
like,
She didn't know the inventory. Oh god, that one of those fake gamer girls. Oh.
Didn't know the no, she didn't know the inventory. She didn't. she was loving the game. She was trying to get stuff sorted, but she was just doing the story missions, and like she wasn't seeing anything else of the game. But she was just like running through it, and I was like, "Oh no! You have to do at least some side things, like just dear Lord, just do something because you should not be having this gun at this point in time."
Yeah.
Who does
Anyway,
only the main story?
That's off tangent.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything about those types of games is all the side nonsense.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Can you imagine playing Witcher 3 and just going through the main plot and just skipping 100 hours of gameplay? It's just
everything. Everything. Yeah, absolutely everything.
Can you imagine playing Oblivion just for the main plot?
Yes.
Really?
Because why are you playing Oblivion? Play Morrowind.
Why? The AI, obviously.
That's the only point I'm willing to accept.
Okay.
It's like going through Fallout 4 and just playing the story. What?
Oh,
yeah.
no.
No.
Anyway, incels. Let's get back into a serious topic.
There we go.
The next best on her, and she's off on another Tinder date. Are you prepared to go out and meet this woman? Or are you terrified that it's going to be awkward and you're not going to know what to say or how to act? You're probably terrified.
It's always...
Again, I was very, very quickly. I don't think this is a... like him live on a stream, because he doesn't seem to be controlling the actions or even paying attention to the actions that are happening. It just seems that he's using footage from stuff he streamed, and also I think that he's probably jumping from game to game and footage to footage. So it's probably just games he's recorded in streams that he's put in the background.
Yeah.
But it's certainly a strange format for him to use. So, for him, it's a ghostly presence.
I like that.
He was going for like this Force Ghost presence.
Yeah, I like the diffusion.
Luke, don't use Tinder.
What?
She's your sister. Get off Tinder.
This is how you wield an Uzi. Oh yeah, and plus don't date girls like that. What?
You will never get laid.
Stop. No scoping. It's not cool. Okay.
I know I was back when I used to get myself in those situations before I had experience with women or I had experience socializing. Girls would take interest in me and I'd be like, cool, I've got their interest, they're attracted, but I don't know how to fucking act. I don't know what to say. I was fucking scared shitless.
Hello, my name is
So where has this gotten you if this is where you're at? Look, I'm a social dude now, and I'm not scared of women, but I still don't feel 100% about going out and meeting
I'm not
strangers.
scared of women. We're not 200-foot tall psychotic killing machines. It's scared of them. Oh my god.
I don't know, like the moment like someone like starts to like go out to the working life and like have to interact with a lot of like strangers, like you otherwise wouldn't have met before. I think like all these like social issues are solved by themselves.
Yeah.
Like okay, like I know like naturally like that doesn't like grant you that you're gonna be like good at like a romantic relationship, but at least it's like a good starting point.
Yeah,
I think like very basic issues to go out from,
I think most people in high school get over their fear of public speaking by at least 18, 19, maybe max. Like you get over it.
I wish that was true. If you knew how absolutely incompetent students are in universities to hold a talk themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, like
my
you
God,
grew up
like
in
the
Soviet
heart's
Union,
exploding.
Well, you get excited sometimes, like a big auditorium for sure. But if you're talking about the guys and girls you went to school with for years and years, it's like, okay. And the adults you went to class with, it's like, yeah, I know all these people. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But you just grow from that, and this is basic stuff, as Mark was saying. It just you go to get a job, talk to people, interact. You're gonna have to.
Yep, and like have a bunch of interviews. Like I myself had like hundreds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Those will tell you like how to reply and like listen to these social cues when to happen. And like by the end of it, like you're gonna make a fool out of the people that like will ask you the things first. Like, you will be the one who initiates them.
Oh, yeah, it's a good parallel. Good parallel, yeah.
In and of itself, already a little uncomfortable. You throw social anxiety and a lack of experience with women on top of it. you're doomed.
Good
So
drive,
what's the
then.
point of swiping in the first place? I think this brings up another question. What is an involuntary celibate really looking for? More likely than not, an incel is not just out here looking for the baddest bitch he can find, because that's intimidating. Maybe an incel's more so looking for the most halfway decent-looking woman he can find. Like, let's say if a model status chick is a 10, he's looking for a 5, right on the border between being kind of cute and kind of ugly, because they're not as intimidated. And you figure since she's not as astoundingly gorgeous as a model, maybe she doesn't have as many options either. Wrong again. We've all tried to play that game as young men. The only problem is a million other insecure men had the same idea. I won't go for the hottest chick because she intimidates me. I'll go for the 5 or the 6.
What a strange argument.
I don't know. Like
I would say it's more like you don't punch too far above your weight because you have no chance.
There was a scene in The Beautiful Mind.
I get that. I really do. I understand that. But go for what you want. Why are you limiting yourself? Learn first, hit on the model, screw up royally, learn from that, and then
embarrass yourself. She never talks to you again.
Yeah, then hit on another model.
So what,
Because if you look at it, if you're strategizing anyway, look at it like this. If you do not expect the 10 to give you a positive result in the end anyway, so just get the experience points.
Yeah.
Again, when there are people who are much more attractive, again, like a supermodel, they're going to have a much a big pool of people to choose from. They're probably not going to choose someone who's again much below their weight. Using the boxing analogy,
are you 100% certain about that?
Not 100%, but again, it's talking about what he's talking about here,
right?
the options.
It's a win-win situation. You go up there. If it doesn't work out, you never touch that person ever again. So who cares?
Well, but if it's someone, but it depends, because if you're talking about like a high school situation, that can fuck up.
I'm not.
Even if you're not talking about like a high school situation, or if you're talking about someone like as a friend, that could easily fuck up a friendship, I guess. Or it's just it depends on the context, I suppose.
Just do it. What? So you've got a really good looking friend who you absolutely adore and want to date, right? So to not fuck up the friendship, you're not going to ask them out, begin to live with constant pining for that person, and have to put up with watching her see her go out with other people.
Don't know. Again, depends on the context, really.
Well, honestly, guys,
that's what usually happens.
It is intimidating.
Just ask people.
But
ask people out.
Yeah, exactly.
But
just go up to them.
Women get intimidated as well. Do you go on a date with a woman? You think she's really confident about it? No, she's probably worried about what you will think of her.
Yes.
They are.
Yes.
Women are not these like robotic creatures that are like initiate dating protocol 1247, and then they go out the door.
When did I ever start saying that though?
No. I'm not. I'm talking about what other people think. I'm not talking about what you think at this point in time. But what I'm saying is that's what a lot of guys seem to think. When in reality, a girl's just as nervous to meet you as you are to meet them.
Exactly.
Again, I was mainly talking more generally about the options thing. If a woman has better options than you, it's probably still they're going to choose the better options.
Oh yeah,
Which is why we start talking about like the punching within your weight thing, because you want someone you're higher up in their options, so they're more likely to choose you.
Well,
and if you're talking to someone who isn't likely to choose you, but is a friend, or again in a social environment like a high school, there is a reason to be a lot more hesitant.
Yeah, if you're in high school, my suggestion is don't fucking bother, because it's pretty much worthless.
Mm-hmm.
Because 9 times out of 10, even if you're in a high school or a secondary school or stuff like that, you're probably going to end up to different universities, and you're probably just going to end up seeing other people anyway.
Well, again, I was talking about that kind of in social environment where it could be something which was very much used against you.
If you're in a bar and there's a drop-dead gorgeous girl and you think she's drop-dead gorgeous, go up and talk to her.
Yeah.
And then they say, "Oh, sorry, I've got a boyfriend."
Okay, that's fine. Then you go, "Oh, sorry about that." You move and you leave them, and then you try it on with it. You talk to another person.
Yeah, it's really not that big a deal. I have dated models. I have dated single moms who are models or attract. Like, you just gotta talk to them.
Yeah.
Just be nice. Be friendly.
See, here's the thing. Everyone seems to think that, like on a night out, you think it's like you're going to get loads and loads of no's. I just don't understand this concept of a no is the worst thing in the world. It's not. Do you know
it's honestly, the most normal thing in the world?
Yeah. I live in a town with 103,000 people. Do you think I care that a good-looking girl on a Friday night rejected me? I'll probably never see her ever again, even though we live in the same town. And she probably won't even remember that I'd even asked her out and everything like that. So it doesn't really mean anything at all. Stop worrying. It's just a lot of guys over worry about things. I don't understand why a lot of guys over worry about everything. It really means nothing.
That's just a naive beginner mistake. It's a natural thing. It's a natural mistake. But it goes away with experience. That's all. Mm-hmm. It's like
men are more frightened of getting rejected than they are of taking the chance of the person saying yes. It's a 50-50 chance every time you talk to a woman, or even if you're gay talking to another bloke. It's a 50-50 chance of a yes or a no. Every single time, and that is your odds. No matter what you look like, it's still 50-50.
And it's like learning to swim in the sea. The water's cold. Oh, you're afraid of the cold water. You just fucking get in. Yeah. Oh, it's salty. Yeah, that's seawater. That's part of it. Oh, but the waves are just it's not plain water. It's not a plain surface. Yeah. So fucking what? That's the point.
Yeah.
Go swim in the sea. Have fun.
All right. We got 3 minutes left. We're doing okay. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing good.
But like I said, I don't know if it's always been this way or it's just because of the social media age, but today there is no middle class of women between ugly and hot. If you're a halfway decent-looking woman, you have as many options as a model has. And some decent options also. I know straight-up ugly women that get taken out on 2 to 3 dates a week. Sorry to not be PC about that, but by the way, girls that find you ugly are not putting it in the nicest terms when they talk to their friends either. Trust me, it's just the way it is. What it seems an incel is really looking for when he searches for a woman is A, a woman who does not intimidate him, B, a woman that understands him, and maybe C, a woman with similar interests because it gives you something to talk about if all you can really talk about is video games and comics and anime. The main thing it seems as an incel is looking for a woman he can be himself with. In other words, I am broken. I am fucked up. I don't leave the house. I rarely come out from behind the computer. All my friends are on YouTube and Discord. I have no social skills and a plethora of other problems I don't know how to improve, and I'm even scared to try.
Very quickly, on the similar interest thing, I can't pause. There we go. I think it's just talking from experience. The best relationship I've ever had, Hawks disappeared, was a relationship I had with a woman who was an absolutely huge Star Wars fan, and she was interested in things like Lord of the Rings as well, but I wasn't interested in things like Lord of the Rings. I introduced her to things like Mass Effect, and we started having these common interests. And sharing something, a common interest like Star Wars, which you're both so passionate about, especially since we were so passionate about Star Wars The Clone Wars, it made a very great relationship. And I think it's certainly fine to look for someone who's in a very who's similarly extremely passionate about what you're interested in, because it's something you have in common and it's something you can share your passions with.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
obviously there are people who you can introduce your passions to, obviously if they're not interested in it originally. Because I wasn't interested in Avatar: Last Airbender. She introduced me to that. There was also another girl I was dating for I think a couple of months. I introduced her to Star Wars as well, and she ended up being a big fan of it even after we stopped doing things.
Well, fandoms and hobbies, those are all good things. They don't have to be like one-to-one with your likes and dislikes, but when it comes to the life stuff, you're going to be talking...
It's good to have overlap.
Well, yeah, but in terms of like living, it's going to be shopping together, talking together, doing everything around the house together or whatever apartment you're in together, and that better damn well be golden, or else you are not going to have a good time. So it's nice to have those hobbies, and I think they're great. Like, you both love pets or whatever, but it really comes down to the basics. And if you cannot stand that person for whatever reason, you can't respect that person.
I'm not saying it overshadows anything, but it's all that, and then on top of
it's a good start.
Having a extremely common passion.
It's like
a common interest that you're very passionate about.
Yeah,
that can make a relationship so much more
it's like
powerful.
Visuals to a man. The first thing, oh, she looks beautiful. Go talk to her. Great. I could sit and talk to her and not tear my eyes out because she's scaring me. And great. I could talk to her. Oh, am I going to tear my ears out now after 10 minutes? No? Good. Okay. Is she going to start talking about, I don't know, postmodernism in 30 minutes? Oh, God, I got to go. Like, there's these little checks you have to go through. And it never stops. It's like, okay.
Yeah, because, my thing now is she going to wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning to talk about fucking curtains? Because that's a no-go anymore, because I'm done with that. Because the last 2 relations I had, they would wake me up at 3 o'clock to talk about curtains.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, well, not just curtains, but other ridiculous things. Where, like, the girls the girls I was seeing, would literally be like, I'd be like, I've got to go to bed. I'm going to work in the morning. So I'd go to sleep, and then they'd wake me up at like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock or some ridiculous o'clock at night to then talk about the most brain dead stuff. I don't know. I asked this question. I don't know.
A bit
and it.
Why did you wake me?
Yeah. Why did you wake me? Well, I think we should change the curtains. Well, that's great. Let's talk about it tomorrow when we can actually do something about it, because everyone that sells curtains is closed because it's 3 o'clock in the fucking morning.
That's insane.
I think I should get new curtains. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's actually nearly midnight. But no, it's midnight. I think about the curtains.
Yeah, but then like my last partner would wake me up at like 6 o'clock and start talking about, like, you know what, we should really, like, we bought some IKEA furniture and I was going to do it in the morning because by the time it had been delivered, and she went, no, I think we should start building it now. And I was like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not building a fucking wardrobe at 3 o'clock in the morning.
This is where
with my much more limited experience with women, I have never encountered that.
This is like a kid coming into the parents' bedroom and saying, I want to build up the train.
Yeah.
Like Christmas morning, it's like, hey, look, it's past midnight. Can I now open my presents?
Yeah, but it wasn't one relationship. It was in like my 2 major relationships where I was living with somebody. In the 2 major relationships where someone was living and had moved into my house and all that, literally they both did the exact same thing of waking me up early in the morning, knowing full well that either A, I had work in the morning, or B, what they wanted me to do would be done at about 10 o'clock in the morning. But they wanted stuff done at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, well, now that that's happened, any woman that I've ever tried and see again, if one time and it's over, it's done, I just cannot be dealing with that ever again.
Yeah, it was absolutely
so that's my
childish.
one thing on a checklist. It's just like, looks don't matter, income don't matter, political ideology doesn't matter. Do you wake me up when I want to go to sleep?
That is really bad. That is, I mean, there's several things you don't do in general, like disturb the peace. Like, I was woken up 3:30 in the morning a few days ago because my
I'll let you finish.
Neighbor was like blaring music in his car for some stupid reason.
Yes.
For no good reason. Like, you don't do that. And it's like, it's good enough to go out there and just like break the windows and say, excuse me.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing that really got me was with the building the IKEA furniture. So like she wanted a wardrobe and a cabinet putting up 3 o'clock in the morning. And I needed to use hammer and nails because some of the things.
Yeah, no.
But we had a single mum with a 2-year-old daughter next door to us. I think, and the little kid's bedroom was right next to our major bedroom.
Oh, no.
Where all the
in the morning, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, and I was like, not a chance. And she got real. I spent the night on the sofa. By the way, I got kicked out of bed because I wouldn't build this.
What the hell?
Yeah, she got.
Why?
What a narcissist!
Did you end the relationship? And just like it's not me. It's you. You keep waking me up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I didn't end the relationship. No, I didn't. I stayed along. mainly because we were expecting our first child together, and I didn't want to separate the mum and dad because yeah, and I didn't want to be like, yeah, me and your mum divorced because of IKEA furniture. I mean, that's not really gonna.
Fucking Sweden, man.
Was that some pregnancy hormonal surge, or was it general behavior?
General behavior, I think. I think she
God.
used pregnancy as a cover, but regardless. But the thing is, I was like, no, there's a small child next door. I am not doing it. I'm not waking up our neighbours as well, because it's really rude to be making that much noise at that time. And it's like, no, she got pissy and said, "Oh, I'm sleeping on the sofa."
But hey, the next level. Yeah, go on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I woke up at the normal time of 9 o'clock, got ready, and built the fucking whole thing within an hour. For 10 o'clock finish, like I'd said I'd do, the night before. So all she had to do was just literally wait. Not even that long. Wait until the morning.
Oh, she asked you before you went to sleep too?
Well, we'd got it, but by the time it had arrived, it was getting pretty late.
Okay.
So I said, "Well, I'll do it in the morning."
So dumb.
We could survive without it.
Yeah, but you did survive without it.
Yeah, we survived without it. Yeah, but it wasn't like a life or death situation where this wardrobe needs to be up right now, otherwise someone's gonna die. It was, well, we can do it tomorrow. So yeah.
Hey, the next level of insanity to wake you up at night is to be punched. And then the reasoning you get is oh, you did a bad thing in my dream.
Yeah, I've had that as well, yes.
Oh my god.
Really?
Yeah, I've had that as well. You cheated on me in a dream. Oh, did I? Was she at least good looking for that punch?
Yeah, that is just...
Which surprisingly got me another punch as well.
There's the window. Out now. Don't come back.
It's reminding me a bit of... I think it was a Rooster Teeth animated thing where it's, I don't know, did you watch Rooster Teeth?
Yeah,
at least we used to. Jumbo.
I watch Ruby. Yeah.
Also Jeff, a part of Achievement Hunter.
Yeah.
And he was like a pretty much a complete cuck to his wife.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the very feminist, short hair, piercings all over her face.
Jeff and
he's so much of a cuck that in his dreams there's an animated thing about this as well. Because they have the podcasts and they animate the podcasts. Oh yeah, then they do he had a dream where he was cheating on his wife with like a really hot famous actress, and in his dreams, like his wife started like giving him shit and basically saying, "No, you can't do this." So he was that much of a cock. He couldn't even cheat on his wife in his fucking dreams.
Yeah, but it's that's not the worst one. It's literally when your partner has a dream that you cheat. You have no idea that this is going on, by the way. You're dreaming happy dreams of, good plots in Star Wars movies, and you're having a wonderful time.
That's too much of an ask. That is definitely a dream.
Even in your dreams, yeah. But you're having a good time. There is no, bloody Patrick Willems and stuff like that. It's great. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful dream. Next thing you know, you got a punch because in your partner's dream, you've banged her sister, and you're like, "What? No, I don't know what."
Defenestrate.
And you're like, "Okay, cool, great." Anyway,
it's such a borderline thing.
But yeah.
All right.
Girl, grow the fuck up. What the hell is wrong with
that's
you?
Just silly. Anyway, 2 minutes left. We're good. Let's go.
Yeah. How much more can I release about my bad relationships? I
haven't had anything which is like 3 o'clock in the morning wake me up. The only problem I've ever had like waking me up was
but
my longest partner had really long hair. Let me finish. It had really long hair. Yeah. So I would just wake up in the middle of the night and I'll just be covered in this stuff. It'd be in my mouth. It's all over the place. It's just everywhere. It's somehow got everywhere.
Well, my thing is, because you're 21,
strangled me.
Aren't you? You're 21, aren't you? Shai?
Yeah, I'm 21.
Yeah, because I'm 27, so there is a bit of a thing. But have you ever cause my 2 relationships, I've lived with these people as in like full time, as in like we moved into a place of our own.
Oh no, it definitely hasn't been. I don't mean a relationship with moving in full time. Yeah, it's only been occasional nights.
So when you're with someone for that long, these things might start popping up. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised what happens, and especially when you've got a pregnant partner. It's every night. It's a fucking completely different thing. It's strange. Sometimes I could be woken up at stupid o'clock because she's peckish for Haribo squidges, and I'd have to trek off down to like the 24-hour garage at the bottom of the road and stuff. Which is fine. I was okay with that. It was it was just the building of fucking wardrobe at 3 o'clock in the morning, which sort of put me off.
Pregnancy is a special thing, but other than that, the hair thing, especially when you have 2 people with very long hair that get intimate, hair can be a problem.
Hair is a problem, even if you both don't have long hair.
Yeah, just date Nazi skinheads, you'll be fine.
You've never exactly. No appreciation for metal. So sad.
I honestly kind of. There was a couple times where I just hinted to her, it's like, I think you'd actually look better with shorter hair. I don't.
That was the end of the relationship.
Oh yeah, she doesn't like anyone touching her hair.
Well, a nutritionalist will say a few things about that, but
I woke up in the morning and the hair attacked me. Keep this in mind. And I was to blame for the hair being a mess and being on me and pulling on or whatever.
I honestly, God, the hair jumped me and there was like 10 of them. I was outnumbered. I had no way to win. No, long hair.
It wasn't exactly a big bed either, so it was quite close.
Next checklist on your criteria is: do they rub around in or roll around in their bed at night? Mm-hmm. That's a very good indication of many things. So,
hence why I have actually bought as a single person. I've bought a big double bed. So if I do ever have somebody, it's enough space for 2 people.
Okay. All right.
Even though I bet just having a double bed is nice in general.
Well,
it's great. Apart from the fact that double beds are wide, but they're not that long, and being 6'4", my feet hang off the edge, so there is that annoyance. But I cannot fit a super king size bed in my bedroom, so I'm like, I'll just put some socks on. Don't worry about it. I'll keep your feet warm.
Aren't those beds standard size, pretty much, like the double sized bed? Okay, at least it's 2 meters long.
Yeah, but I'm longer than 2 meters.
No, you're not. 6'4" is 193 or 4.
No, 2 meters is about 6 foot.
No.
Yeah.
What are you talking?
No.
Wait.
Isn't it?
You don't
6
have
foot
metric.
is about
okay.
183.
Yeah.
No. Meters is metric. We'll use that here in the UK.
It's 6.5.
Yeah, the feet isn't.
Well, my feet on this
imperial.
big double bed stick out the end, so I don't know.
It's not standard bed then. My father was.
You probably have a queen. Yeah, probably have a queen.
Anyway.
Your father was a bed maker.
Anyway,
is that what you're trying to say, Mark?
I still want to know what people.
A Hungarian bed maker is telling me my bed's wrong. Okay, cool.
I still want to know what moving around in the bed a lot means.
Well, I'm trying to remember my old psych textbooks, but anxiety, neuroticism at least.
Or a cutscene from Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, interesting.
Just constantly shaking your head.
I got a dream about star maps.
Oh, that's interesting because I've been told I've been told I sleep like a mummy. The moment I fall asleep, I don't move until I wake up again.
Yeah, but Wisp, you do go to fall asleep with about 6 pints of rum and tablets, so yeah, you should be pretty still.
Not 6 pints of rum, and it was before I had the problems too. Unless I have some PTSD attack at night, I wake up in the exact same position that I fell asleep in.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with this waking up in a different way or something.
Really? Well,
No.
there's lots of studies on sleep in people and what that means to personality. They could predict how you're going to sleep later on in life, depending on how you're sleeping now. It's fascinating stuff, but I didn't really get into it because I was doing child psych.
Give me links. This sounds interesting. Sounds funny.
Yeah, no, it's cool. There's all these labs, not only in university, but also throughout, wherever you are. I'm in Toronto, but there's all these labs up the road I was checking out for people with problems because I was doing research. But yeah, no, they're really, hard science on sleep. There's all kinds of wonderful understandings and pillows and postures and bed springs and foam mattresses, all kind. It's a science now. It's crazy accurate.
Yeah. Well, my best experience of sleeping is with a pregnancy pillow.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah, my ex-partner had accidentally ordered 2, so I had one, and it was great.
Is that these long snake things?
Yeah, they're really the long snaky ones. Yeah, they're great.
Those are awesome.
It was fantastic.
Everyone should get a pregnancy pillow. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. No, seriously.
They're fun.
Well,
fun.
Me,
you can drape them around. They're good for your neck. You can cuddle with them. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's a multi-purpose pillow.
Wow.
Great.
All right, we got 2 minutes. So in case you can't get that date, get yourself a pregnancy pillow.
Just seriously, guys. Just if you have any trouble, just message me. I'll solve all your problems. Don't worry.
I will hook you up.
I will hook you up. I'll get you pregnancy pillows. I will,
I will get you pregnant. I'll teach you how to get
pregnant. I'll teach you how to build IKEA furniture. Where to get the curtains at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's all these things.
Practical classes on first day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
How not to use Tinder. Yeah, all these things. So I'm just
drag and drop to uninstall.
Again, this video, I would definitely retitle it because I think he's using the more traditional, or like the original usage of incel, which is more meaning involuntary celibate rather than celibate, than someone who. I'm sorry, I don't English very well, despite that I'm English.
English.
Anyway, I'm English. What was I saying? Yeah, even the incel has now taken on a completely new meaning with the type of people it's associated with.
I talked about that at the start, actually. Yeah, the crazy accident that happened in Toronto a few years ago with the guy who mowed down a bunch of people on the sidewalk in a van, and he was espousing incel philosophy, whatever that was, and that's what it's been known around in Canada. So it takes on multiple dimensions, which is weird.
I doubt that's anything that is anything that existed outside of his head.
I agree. Yeah, because it's just a strange thing that just popped up, and you're like, "What is he talking about?" He did this because he thought he couldn't get relationship. Like, I don't know. That's very strange.
If you're an asshole, you tend to not get laid.
Well, I don't know.
If you're too much of an asshole, If you're, I agree that the part of the asshole thing is confidence boost, that helps you get laid. But if you're an absolute stink ball at the same time,
yeah.
And he was the type of stink ball that probably didn't get laid because it was a stink ball.
Yeah, but this is like what's that guy's name? The same fellow who had the mass murderer. What's his name?
Sam Hyde.
I don't know. Is it down?
No, another guy who was also blaming women. I'm attractive. I'm good looking. I listen. Yada yada. I can't get a date. Yada yada.
I'm such a nice guy.
Yeah,
I'm even a feminist.
What the hell is that guy called?
Nice guys. That's what people. Yeah, nice guys is the term. But what was the guy who did that?
He filmed himself too. Elliot Rodger. Elliot Rodger. There he was.
Elliot Rodger. Yeah.
Was that the guy that was on the PewDiePie video?
The
one where he was talking to the Twitch streamer or whatever, and like he touched so really awkwardly. It was like last time I was on here.
He was on YouTube. He did post on YouTube.
No, but that guy that we follow, no, he wasn't a mass serial killer because he's still making YouTube videos, Shiny.
No.
Well, I'm sorry, I was only listening to have the conversation, but I was you're talking about nice guys, and that's never mind.
Anyway, let's
go.
Let's go.
Yeah, but that. Sorry,
let's go.
Just about that video, but carry on. Yeah, no.
Let's not go on a tangent, Elliot Roger. Okay, let's go.
To the deepest corner of the internet to try to find this woman on a message board with fantasies of moving out to the other side of the country where she lives so you can have a partner, a woman who does not scare you, who you feel you can be yourself with. And from what I understand, some guys have been able to do it and are happy and good for them. But this should not be the incel dream, mainly because it's not fixing any of your problems. And say you should find that woman and you lose her. Will you ever attempt to improve yourself so you can meet a girl who lives maybe 4 blocks away instead of searching the internet for a soulmate? Or will you go back to the internet crying out for help? Guys, as always, the internet is not your scapegoat. A dating app is not your scapegoat. There's no easy way to cut corners in a situation like this. If you are mentally able to put one foot in front of the other to begin improving yourself, meaning you're not psychologically hindered to an extent where it's not possible for you, you need to begin a slow-moving journey.
Yeah, the self-improvement thing as well is going about earlier before you start actually going to dating.
With a goal, a purpose, a passion, and developing a work ethic to see those aspirations through, doing something that makes you proud of you till you get to a point where you admire your goddamn self. When you admire yourself, you're not as scared of social situations.
I am so gorgeous.
You like yourself so much, you figure, why wouldn't my peers? That then bleeds into a decreased fear
It's good if you just get to, I'm okay. I'm okay with myself
for these kind of things. But if you're willing to put in the work, you could be an entirely different person in the not-so-distant future, and many people, including me, have done it. That means dropping 50 pounds if you're overweight. That means getting some money in your pocket if you're broke. That means accomplishing something you never thought you could accomplish.
Getting some money in your pockets if you're broke. There's a bit more to it than just that.
Yeah, there's getting a job, making good investments.
That you're actually able to accomplish anything. And if that's a journey you're interested in embarking on, we'll do it together.
Okay, so it sounds like he's talking about life stuff, but just not in detail of any kind. Just get money. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
yeah,
get money. Rob a bank.
No, it's just the foundational stuff to improve this. You're lacking in this part of your foundations. Improve that. Yeah. You're lacking this part of your foundations.
Sure.
Improve that.
Sure, but that does not explain why.
It's just examples.
Yeah, if you're not doing anything and just sitting on your ass all day, then yeah, obviously you should be doing something. But that does not mean you shouldn't use a dating app. Yeah. You can use a dating app if you think you have something to give.
I think his general idea to push people into doing things in real life is the right idea.
I don't care if you are a Twitch streamer, honestly. If you're a Twitch streamer and you make money that way.
Don't rely on all the tech stuff. Get away from the tech stuff and get out in real life.
Yeah, but let's say you are one of these guys who stream and that's your career or whatever. That's your life. You make your money that way. Mm-hmm. What's wrong with being
make your money that way? You have fangirls in your audience anyway.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. Like you have this thing that you are trying to get. You're not getting enough out of it, like a relationship. Then go, like, there's a lot of people who, I don't know if this is a thing in the world, but once they find the job, they find the relationship at the job. And that's how it always works. They don't go out of their comfort zone. They don't go like down the street to the bar or another place. They always find the next, if it didn't work out at that place, I'm going to get another job and find another person at that. Like it's that sort of mentality. Like everything is just there.
Yeah, that's a general thing. It doesn't matter whether you stay in your hometown or whether you go or whether you move to Brazil. You will find the person you'll stay with for life usually in the general geographical area that you live in, wherever that currently is.
I remember my sysadmin back at one of my old jobs. He went specifically to South America to seek out a woman, and it was like, I want all of these things, and he found it. And he got her agreeing.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
I know.
Because if you look for a specific temperament that is more prevalent in a different culture, sure, you'll have a better chance at that if you move into the area where that where that culture is.
He took her from South America and brought her all the way over to Canada, which I thought was hilarious.
It's okay.
She's still trying to find her way back. The drugs have worn off, and she's trying to get out of the basement right now. But
But
was
she's
just
probably
funny.
already chipped. So
Like he was going into like a guy. The way is that guy talk? He was going to all this details. Like, holy shit, dude! Like, what the hell? Like, yeah, no, I found her. Like, what do you mean you found her? Yeah, no, I went down to, was it Peru or something? And I walked around. And I'm like, oh, there she is. I'm like, what? Are you
Deepest, darkest Peru. What, she Paddington Bear? Jesus.
It was so funny. This weird story. Like, you're a sysadmin. How the hell did you do that? Like, oh, just basic searching. Like, where? Like, how?
This is just like a search query, dude.
I googled hot, attractive South American woman.
I guess
The first Google image. I just stalked that one, and she just went, "Yeah, sure."
I don't know how it worked. She did have kids though, so that was interesting. He didn't mind. So I was like, all right, that's cool.
Well, of course, yeah. Well, that's fine. How many
I'm
kids
gonna
does
have
she
more kids.
Exactly. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, but
She could have kids. I want
did
kids.
she have
Perfect.
originally? Yeah, but if she already had like 7 beforehand,
Well,
I'd be
that's
like,
that would be funny.
Hey,
Is
Peru. I
this
don't know.
the
I don't know how many
continuation
people
of the
Peru have.
orphanage story?
Oh no, that orphanage story is stupid. I'm not going to even bring that orphanage story up. No,
Okay.
we're going to move on.
All right.
Yes, no. Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, that was we got 30 seconds. We could finish it off. Why not?
On this channel about video games and movies in the interim. There's going to be some guys that try to discredit what I'm saying. This is no doubt bound to be Vince Mahogany's next analytical video, and if you think he can help you get women, you can listen to him. But this is just my thoughts, and it's a situation I've been in myself, and it's a situation that can be worked through rather easily.
All right.
Cool.
Fair enough. Nothing wrong with that.
It's not a bad video.
Yeah.
I found it. Yeah. I think he has.
Again, I would just
right
change some of
idea.
the terminology.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I think he definitely misused the word incel.
that's fine.
At least with its more common meaning. Even this was like a year ago, wasn't it?
Well, it's been getting bad raps ever since people have been
It's-
talking about it.
Well, I think this terminology for incel has already been like around like since last year. I think probably.
Oh, longer than that.
Much longer.
I don't know. Like a
No,
lot
it's
longer,
old.
yeah.
It's old.
Yeah, it's really.
Oh no, but in like it's more like modern understanding, like how we socially think of it. Incel.
Yeah.
And it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
It's not a huge problem. I think he was just talking really quickly off the cuff.
Well, I'm just saying it would make things a lot more clear. And in fact, it would actually, because this is like a video aimed more towards socially awkward people that do need help. I would maybe structure the title more along those lines to try and get those people, rather than saying why incels shouldn't use dating apps, because that's talking more like you're explaining it to someone else, like a third party, like not like you're explaining to someone who is socially awkward. You're explaining to other people about incels. If you get what I mean.
It's hard to describe, but he was speaking from experience, so obviously he has a very slanted view, and that's fine. So I understand what he was saying. He didn't.
Aren't we all talking from experience to like our own?
Well, this is
some
anecdotal, so he's talking about what he actually did, as opposed to theories on proper etiquette or like not doing X or doing Y instead. So unless he really screwed up, and then he would be speaking from experience in like detail what not to do. So this seemed very general. That's fine. I didn't mind it. It seemed okay. I saw nothing inherently wrong with the video. So good.
Yeah.
I just in general add that one of the hobbies that is always good to adopt is martial arts.
Really?
You work out. That's good. You meet new people. Usually very jolly people, good people. Lots of martial artists have a very, through my experience, very, very good outlook on life. There's the occasional asshole, but that's every. Also depends on check out different dojos, different martial arts types. You'll find one that vibes with you eventually, and it builds. So it's not just good for your health; it also builds confidence. You find inner balance over time. You get whatever frustrations you have. You get that out. You learn to lose. You learn to win and not be an asshole. These are all great things, and they will not just help you to not get into a fight in the first place, because the confidence that you, and this is also why martial arts is a good thing for women, the confidence you automatically emanate is something that predators pick up on and subconsciously, and know this is a less good target. But the more important thing is for this topic here is that this is also this confidence that you gain through that, and this well-being with yourself and this balance with yourself is then also useful when trying to talk with people that you maybe want to hook up with. Martial arts is just good all around. Just do it.
Or go to a gym when they're open. Or, I don't know, join a bike club, whatever you feel.
If they ever open, yeah.
Yeah.
But martial arts has this. If you just go to a gym or just ride bicycles, that's more just the health aspect. Martial arts really forms character in many ways.
I think that the discipline aspect is really key to any sort of
as well, yeah,
athleticism, and it's more of a group effort because there's no competition in martial arts unless you're doing competitions, but it's mostly self-reflection and betterment. So depending on the martial arts style, there's all kinds of crazy martial arts and this and that, but it's really about discipline and what you're doing and why you're there and all the friends you make along the way. So
the bruises we get along the way.
The bruises, the broken ligaments, yeah, all those wonderful things. Oh dear.
The sprained ankles.
The broken rib.
You have a sprained ankle. You know what you should do, Shani? Just get a pregnancy pillow, lie down, be great.
There we go. If anyone learned anything today, get yourself a pregnancy pillow.
Mm-hmm.
That's the lesson of the night.
Forget beds, forget pillows. Just buy a whole body pregnancy pillow. There you go.
Yeah, and you will sleep fine at 3 a.m. and not build your IKEA furniture.
Yeah, or figure out where to get curtains from. Just plain sailing.
After you got beaten up for cheating on your girlfriend in her dreams.
in her dream.
Oh boy, that must be a British thing. 'Cause I'm quite sure I heard a British comedian say that joke, and I was like, "What?"
No, it's not a British thing. It's a women's thing.
God.
And I've heard this mainly from all the girls that I've known who are borderline or narcissistic. They all have one of these stories to tell, and they brag about it.
Okay.
It's all fun. But I've learned now at 27. I have finally learned that I'm not gonna put up with that. So it's
it's good. Some don't learn it until they're 60.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Okay. Well.
But I like my sleep. Surprisingly, considering how late I usually am on these Smudcasts, but I do enjoy my sleep.
All right. Well, there's a good time to stop and thank everyone for tuning in and listening to us ramble about a video which wasn't so bad. I didn't mind it. I was okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's a nice change of pace.
Yeah. And considering we had to argue for it was a little sad, but voting is going crazy these past few weeks. I'm just wondering what's going on with the mods.
We dodged another bullet with that vetoing the first video. Oh god,
that was
that racism.
Casual racism in fantasy.
I am getting tired of talking about racism, honestly.
We've both got to accept we just hate the black. I mean, no, we don't. Sorry, it's just.
It's either racism or some degree of LGBTQ. Whatever.
Everyone needs to be gay. Smart. Even if you think you're not racist, you are racist.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's all subconscious, you don't realize. Even if you've never done a racist thing in your life, you're still racist.
Not speaking up about it means that
if you're a minority, you're racist. If you're a woman, you're racist. If you're a man, you're racist. If you're a human being, you're racist.
It's not enough to be not racist. You have to be anti-racist.
You have to be racist, which means you have to be racist against yourself.
Yeah.
Can't we all?
I still love that.
Can we all just go to the pub?
That's Data saying.
Yes, please.
The tweet that said Natal's white supremacism is like incredibly open for definition or something, loose to interpretation, so that people you don't consider white consider themselves white. It's like, okay, so how far does this go? Are you really saying that? I don't know. I don't think white supremacists are very diverse. It's very clear who is supremacist in their view.
Yeah, as I've said before, it's not any neo-Nazis or anything like that, or white people or something that are defining what white people are. It's solely the socialist extremists who are defining who are part of the white race, which is, so the out group is defining who is part of the enemy group. It's quite insane. Because just think back, Shiny, with how social justice people define white people. Would the Nazis have agreed with that?
He's only little. He's only little. He can't remember that far back.
Yeah, but I think he knows enough about that stuff. Do you think the Nazis would have agreed with the social justice warriors?
What was this about? Sorry.
Yeah. Do you think the Nazis?
Look, I'm completely honest. I've gotten so used to Wisp talking, I just kind of start opening up a new Chrome tab and just flicking through Twitter.
It's a new term, Wisp noise.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Ask again.
We should reject racism, embrace pregnancy pillow. That's it. That's my
exactly.
I'm fine with
and
that.
Go to pubs.
Okay.
And go to the pub. And just go to the pub, have a drink.
Still want to hear the question?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think the Nazis would have agreed with the social justice warriors' definition of white supremacy and who belongs to the white race?
That's a yes.
I'm trying to think now. Because
it's probably just a trick question. They would shoot them.
It's I honestly don't know, because I'm trying to remember back to that video where he joked that the white, was it like white supremacists and SJWs both didn't consider the Jewish white people or something.
No, SJWs consider the Jews white people now, and they consider Slavs white people. No, they consider Slavs. They considered Slavs white people. Now they consider them brown people.
It's I don't know. I'm unsure, because it just depends on what SJW you're talking about exactly. If you're talking about Movie Bob, then yes.
The joke is that
Movie Bob just wants to kill everybody. He doesn't really
care.
Movie Bob wants to invade Poland. It's so hilarious. He didn't even have the self-awareness.
What he did say?
Maybe question, like, okay, maybe.
Oh my God.
Maybe I shouldn't advocate for invading Poland.
Yeah, no, okay, Shane. In part, it was a trick question.
If only I could split Poland with like Russia, that would shove a Nazis.
Wait, we did that before. No, Shiny. In part, it was a trick question, because the Nazis didn't think about the white race. They thought about their magical Aryan race.
Mm-hmm.
That had nothing to do with any of this stuff that's going on now. This whole white thing is essentially a demonized construct made up by the left. And then some real racists that think themselves neo-Nazis picked up on it, because they're absolutely retarded and stupid. But in general, nope. Nazis didn't care about white skin, because they burned a lot of people with white skin. They burned a lot of Slavs, a lot of Jews, all of that, and they were politically aligned with Italians and Spaniards, but they didn't consider them as part of their race. Same with the Greeks.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't class the Spaniards as much of a race, to be honest with you. No, man, it's that European continent.
The strange thing is, I don't understand how this works in the US anyway. With that the Spanish are white people, but the Hispanics are somehow not.
Because like Mexicans have a mixed with some other people at the area, so that's why, generally speaking. They aren't just like Spanish people who went there and that's it. Like it has been like 400 or 500 years since the first time they.
Yeah, but then the question comes up: do they define it by culture? Do they define it by genetics? Because if they say it was a different people there, then they define it by genetics after all. And it's just
I've heard
just
people,
everything is something else.
Like for example, people who are in Mexico or South American countries, they considered themselves white in their own country. They're considered white, but then when they go to America, they're considered Hispanic just because they're from those countries.
Yeah,
by like SJWs and such.
It's just whatever fits the SJW narrative, and they put you in the box. You are not putting yourself in any box, and they will find a box for you to put you in.
All right, guys. I think we've had our fill. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all the time and comments and laughs and all those silly things you do in chat. We appreciate that. It's always great.
This was not the video I was expecting when I was hopping in.
Yeah, I know. It's nice. Interesting. Different. Very relaxing.
It's nice to have a good video.
Yeah, well...
Yeah. What? No.
We usually don't do that, but yeah, it's true. It happens.
We don't do that here.
This wasn't a good video. It was crap. But we just.
I would say that the visual quality is crap. But in terms of like relative, he's not like too far outside of the ballpark. I would say, especially what he's talking about with Tinder or. How it's really not good for you if you're like very socially awkward, and like the terminology could have definitely used some improvement, and I'm still confused as fuck about like why he's a force ghost.
To be honest with you, our discussions didn't really involve his video. We were just talking amongst ourselves. So
it's just a conversation.
Yeah, straightforward stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks guys. We'll talk to you real